It is time for Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. I'm Jordan Bianucci alongside Ryan Pickens as we get set to start Game 3 of this four-game set between the University of Portland and Utah Valley. And with that, Ryan, I'll just send it over to you for the starting lineups.
Starting lineups tonight, first for the visiting University of Portland Pilots coming out of the West Coast Conference. Leading off in right field will be Jeffrey Lee. Eric Sapp at first base bats second, and he will hit second. Caleb Whalen in center field will hit third. Cooper Hummel will be behind the plate. He'll hit fourth. Ryan Barr, the designated hitter, will hit fifth. Grant Taylor inserted into the starting lineup, hits sixth, and will be in left field. Kevin Farley bats seventh. Matt Kelly will bat eighth, and Michael Forgione will bat in the ninth spot. Defensively here for Utah Valley, in the outfield from left to right, Craig Brinkerhoff will get the start in left field. Mark Kruger in center. In right field, Justin Erlinson inserted back into the starting lineup. On the infield, Paul Estrada will start at third, Grayson Bogdan at short, Trevor Howell at second, Spencer Gothberg will be at first, and behind the plate will be Jake Atkinson, and on the mound, making his first start of the season, the senior out of Provo, Utah, Kyle Valgardson, will get the ball tonight. Valgardson 1-0 on the season with 2 saves, so coming out of the bullpen, a transition time for him. So we'll see how he handles that kind of adjustment. 6 innings, 9 hits, 1 run, which was earned, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts on the year for Valgardson. And kind of an interesting thing, Jordan, because oftentimes we see at the pro level especially, starters that go to relievers and relievers going back to starters doesn't mix well. Valgardson, though, has in his college career made some starts, so hopefully that will kind of work out well for Utah Valley tonight.
We will see right now. First pitch, fastball, misses outside. It's 1 ball, no strikes. We're underway. First pitch, 5:55 local time here in Orem. Game time temperature, it says 57 degrees officially. Fastball misses high and away to Jeffrey Lee. It's 2 balls, no strikes to him. It's a little cool, though. The sun hiding behind the clouds as we begin here in Orem. From the windup, Valgardson throws. The 2-0 falls in there for a strike. And it's 2 balls, 1 strike now to Lee. Just underway here. Swing and a foul tip. No, said he, I thought it was a foul tipped into the mitt of Atkinson, but just a swing and a miss. And so Valgardson battles back here. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Fastball, ooh, just off the outside, and the count runs full. Jeffrey Lee, the leadoff man, hitting .273 on the year. He's only had 11 at-bats, 3 hits, 3 runs batted in for the right-handed hitter. Bent at the knees in the right-handed batter's box.
Lee got the start in the leadoff spot last night. Had a 2-run single in the 5th inning. Was aboard, though, 3 times. So
Payoff pitch swung on, lined down the right field line. Fair ball, just maybe barely inside the foul line. Cutting it off on the track is Erlinson, but in there with a leadoff double is Jeffrey Lee, and the Pilots have something going early.
And that's really, what you want from your leadoff hitter. You want him to get up. You want him to take the ball down the line, find a way to get on base, work the count. And Jeffrey Lee did all those things in that at-bat. Worked the count, made Valgardson throw 5 or 6 pitches, and found a way to get on base.
So a nice at-bat from Lee. Just sliced that one down the right field line, and just barely, maybe by a foot, I don't even think by that much, stayed inside the foul line in fair play. Fair territory, I should say. First pitch, bunting and fouling it at the plate is Eric Sapp. Taking off on the bunt from second to third was Lee, but they'll do it all again, 0-1.
And that's something to keep an eye on tonight for the University of Portland. They really rely on the speed. We've seen that in their first couple of games, and they're willing to lay that bunt down, move the base runners. That's something to kind of keep in mind as we go throughout tonight. Going to put some pressure on that UVU infield to make the play without errors, something they've done in the first couple of games.
Just underway here. No score. Top of the first inning. A man on, nobody out for Portland. The pitch showing bunt again is the left-handed hitter. Pulls it back, and it's 1-1. Tonight it's Kyle Valgardson, just looking at what he throws. It's a fastball, slider, changeup mix. The slider, kind of a mix between a slider and a curve, that slurve they call it. And then the change, kind of a split change. Really tumbles down in the zone, or it does so when working. The pitch here, fastball, bunted right back to the mound. fielding it cleanly as Valgartson, springing off the rubber, throws to first for the out. The runner, Lee, advances to third base, so a nice job by Eric Sapp to get the bunt down, and the Wolverines will take the out.
And that's something Utah Valley's done really well in the first couple games of the series. Haven't made a lot of errors defensively, and that's something they're going to want to do tonight, because if they can't give Portland that extra base because of an error, because that speed will come back to hurt you if you do that.
Here's Caleb Whalen, the right-handed hitter. The Pilots don't need a base hit to score the run with only one out and a man on third. Fastball misses inside at 90 miles an hour, and it's 1-0. The shift on for the right-handed hitter. Playing deep in the hole at shortstop is Bogdan, just on the edge of the outfield grass. Pulled way over to the left of the first base bag is Gothberg. Second base, behind the bag. This one chopped to third, coming home with it. The tag, he got him. So going on contact was Lee. Making a nice play was Estrada at third base. Coming home and waiting for him with the baseball was Jake Atkinson. That ball hit hard, and I think that's the trouble with the going on contact play, is he was out by a mile.
If that's hit to any other part of the field, he scores. I don't think Jeffrey Lee, I don't know if he didn't think the ball was hit right to where it was, because he kind of looked surprised when he slid into home, and then Jake Atkinson had the ball. He kind of popped up from the slide and went, oh, I'm out. Yeah, I think he was kind of surprised in a sense the ball was hit right to Estrada.
First pitch to Hummel, misses up and away. 1 ball, no strike. So Whalen reaches first base on the 5-3 fielder's choice. No run comes in, no score. Top of the first inning, a man on, 2 out. Bogdan playing up the middle, just to the left of the second base bag, behind it. This ball fouled back and out of play. It's 1-1. Playing well over toward the first base side at second base is Trevor Howell, so a ton of room from the right side of the second base bag to about straight away right field. So about even with straightaway right field is Trevor Howell, the second baseman. Now a throw over to first base. Gothberg tags the runner, but back in safely is Whalen. Whalen has stolen 4 bags on the season. He's been caught once. Another throw over there by Valgartson. Hummel, the cleanup man at the plate, hitting from the left side. He's hitting .382 on the year. 13 runs batted in with 1 home run. Another throw over to first base. So the Wolverines really worried about Whalen over there. Want to keep him close.
That home run for Cooper Hummel came on Thursday night. Hit one out to deep right center field. They kind of in that 9th inning to kind of help Portland increase their lead on Utah Valley.
Valgartson, 6'4", 225-pound senior, out of Provo, throws. Fastball misses high and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Valgartson probably has the best command of any Wolverine pitcher this season. See if he can get out of the jam here in the first inning. Throws another ball, this one outside. He's already given up a double to lead off the inning, then a sacrifice bunt, and a ground ball to the third baseman, fielder's choice. So he's battled back nicely from the early adversity. But a hitter's count here, 3-1 to Hummel. The pitch misses away, not close, and he walks him. So that'll bring up Ryan Barr, and Barr is a right-handed hitter, so not all bad news walking Hummel there. Runners on first and second now with 2 out. The Pilots in the road grays, purple hats. The Wolverines in the white trousers, black alternate tops, and black hats. Wolverine scrawl across the chest. Now everybody straight away defensively for the Wolverines. Playing behind the runner at first is Gothberg. Fastball comes up and in. Turning away from it is Barr. Counts 1-0. Barr hitting .346 on the year. 4 runs batted in. No homers. .1-0. Catches the inside corner. Another fastball, and it's 1-1. I think Barr thought that one may have been down and in. Playing about even with the bag at third base is Paul Estrada. Bogdan, a couple steps onto the outfield grass. shading, I should say, up toward the middle at second is Trevor Howell. Outfield straight away. Deep in center is Kruger. The pitch, and that one did hit him. Fastball came in, hit him on the elbow. Luckily for Barr, he has a pad there, and it got him right on the pad. So we talked about Valgartson having great command, and, well, he hasn't had that this inning. After the walk, now he hits a batter, and the bases are loaded for Grant Taylor, left-handed hitter.
And one of the good thing for Utah Valley is Valgartson's had plenty of collegiate experience. He definitely has been able to pitch through some of these jams before. And I mean, you're one pitch away from getting out of the inning, and and that's a big thing right now for Valgartson. Just sometimes pitchers get a little too focused on trying to hit the exact spot instead of just making sure they throw strikes.
Here's Grant Taylor. Big left-handed hitter. First pitch to him. Fastball. Wow, stayed up high. That one was pretty close. Maybe missed just above the belt. The umpire, home plate, is Lyle Mangum tonight. First base down there, Jeff Clough making the calls, and Pancho Flores, the third base umpire. 1 ball, no strikes. To Taylor. Fastball. This one in there on the inside corner. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. In 21 at-bats, Taylor has only had 3 hits this year. 1 RBI off a solo shot. So he's trying to bust out of this early season slump. Bases loaded, no score. Top of the first, a beauty, a slider that found the outside corner. And it's 1-2. So Valgartson, after all the trouble he's encountered here in the first inning, he's 1 pitch away from getting out of it unscathed. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. The Pilots get a hit. They leave the bases loaded. No runs. Portland, nothing. The Wolverines coming up. You're listening to Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Bottom of the first inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark, and the Utah Valley Wolverines get out of a bases-loaded jam in the top half of the first. Now they'll come up and see if maybe they can get Portland into a similar jam and add a run or two. Leading off for the Wolverines tonight will be Grayson Bogdan. Zach Willis will be the DH. He'll bat second. Batting third, the center fielder, Mark Kruger. Hitting cleanup, the first baseman, Spencer Gothberg. Craig Brinkerhoff will be in left field. He's batting fifth. Paul Estrada will bat sixth. Jake Atkinson seventh. Trevor Howell eighth. And Justin Erlinson will round out the order and bat ninth. Defensively for the University of Portland, in left field will be Grant Taylor. In center field, it's going to be Caleb Whalen. In right field will be Jeffrey Lee. On the infield, Matt Kelly. Michael Forgione will be on the left side. Right side of the infield, Kevin Farley at second. It will be Eric Sapp at first. Behind home plate will be Cooper Hummel. And the left-hander, Jordan Horak, will go to the mound today. Horak 1-0 on the season, making his 4th start of the year. He's gone 15 innings, allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which have been earned, has walked 8, struck out 9. Opponents are hitting 143 against him, and he's got a 2.40 ERA. So it sounds like hits are coming at a minimum against Horak this year.
First pitch from him, is a fastball, misses away to Grayson Bogdan. Bogdan looking to get the Wolverines going. Here, bottom of the first, no score. The pitch, fastball, that one misses just below the knees, and it's 2-0. Horak, a nice, kind of a herky-jerky delivery in the sense that really looks like he's rearing back and throwing. Fastball, that one called for a strike. 2-1. Horak throws the left-hander on the mound. He's 6 foot, 190-pound sophomore out of Lake Oswego. Oregon. You know where that is, Ryan?
It's about 15 minutes south of Portland as Grayson Bogdan pops that one up in foul territory.
Coming over is Sapp. He'll call everybody off near the dugout. The first baseman makes the grab, and there's one away in the Wolverine first. So that'll bring up Zach Willis. You vacation much at Lake Oswego?
Well, it's kind of funny. So Lake Oswego is kind of a there. I believe there is a lake there, but it's not really a more of a resort, Jordan. It's kind of, I would say, similar to like a Highland or an Alpine, where
Okay.
it kind of sounds resort-like, but
Oh, there may be no lake at all. First pitch fastball misses high and away to Zach Willis. 1 ball, no strike to him, no score. Bottom of the first inning. Willis hitting from the right side, the designated hitter tonight for the Wolverines. Horak throws, fastball misses down and in, and it's quickly 2-0 to Willis. Horak, he'll come with we've been looking upper 80s fastball. The scouting report says mid 80s, but counter that with a curveball, slider, changeup. We've seen nothing but fastballs early on in the first. 2-0, fastball swung on, chopped foul near the first base on deck circle, and it's 2-1. So Lake Oswego, an update from Ryan.
there is a lake. It's kind of the center of town, according, and I figured there was. I just never got up really to that part of
2-1, swung on, looping liner into center field, base hit in front of Caleb Whalen out there in center, and it's a 1-out single for Zach Willis.
just a hard hit ball right back up the box, takes that pitch and just lines it right back up the middle. Nice job by Zach Willis. He's had some really impressive at-bats to start his career here at Utah Valley. So an opportunity now to see if they can't get something going. A lefty-lefty matchup here with Mark Kruger at the plate.
And you're not going to see a lot of that tonight. In fact, this is the only time you're going to see it, unless a pinch hitter or something like that comes into play later. A heavy right-handed lineup for the Wolverines tonight. Lefty on lefty here, as Ryan mentioned. Fastball right there on the outside corner at 86. Strike one. Kruger batting .312 on the year. 8 RBIs, 1 homer for the kid out of Jordan High School up in Sandy, Utah. Just about 35, 40-minute drive from here in Orem. That one swung on, popped up in the infield. It's going to go in, or rather fall in foul territory, caught by the catcher Cooper Hummel to the left of home plate, and there are 2 away. So Kruger will be dismayed with that at bat. But here comes Spencer Gothberg with 2 outs and a man on.
It's a good opportunity for Spencer Gothberg to build off what he did last night for the Wolverines. Spencer having a 2-hit ball game, so a good opportunity. Yeah, 2-hit ball game, also had a walk. So good opportunity for Spencer to get some good at-bats before whack play.
Willis held on at first after the single. First pitch, there we see a breaking ball, and it misses inside. 1 ball, no strikes to Gothberg. I believe that one was the slider. The slider will run in on a right-handed hitter from the lefty. From the stretch, Horak throws. Ground ball to the shortstop. He has it. Goes the short way to second. That's Forgione to Farley, and the inning's over. So the Wolverines get a base hit. However, they leave him stranded. No runs. We head to the top of the second inning on Wolverine Green. 0-0 to score. Portland nothing, Utah Valley nothing as we head to the top of the second inning. It'll be 7-8-9 for the Pilots. Kevin Farley, Matt Kelly, and Michael Forgione. As the sun just peeks out from behind the clouds, dusk time here in Orem. Valgartson labored in the first inning, However, did not give up a run. In fact, he didn't give up gave up one hit, a leadoff double. First pitch misses down low, and it's 1-0. The man who really has to deal with the sun right now is the left fielder, Craig Brinkerhoff. Everybody else in the shade. The pitch, fastball, misses inside, and it's 2-0. And so we talked about Valgartson having good command of his stuff. He has been inconsistent tonight. Working from the windup here. The 2-0 to Farley. That fastball finds the inside corner, strike one.
And that's been the one thing for Utah Valley so far on this year, Jordan. We've seen some games where they've played really well, where they've looked like they're kind of putting everything together, and then other games where they just kind of struggle, trying to get a little more consistent here in the final week or so before WAC play.
Farley swings and foul tips this one into the glove of Atkinson. The count's even at 2-2. Kevin Farley, the second baseman for the Pilots, 4 for 24 on the year. The Pilots are 9-5 coming into this ball game. That one swung on and lifted foul and out of play. The Wolverines 8-8. They're trying to get over 500 with the series finale tomorrow at noontime.
We should be smart to remind everybody to move their clocks forward as well. Tomorrow begins daylight savings time.
2-2 pitch swung on, fouled back to the screen, a fastball there. And the count remains at 2-2. So the Pilots so far, they've really made Kyle Valgartson battle. They've given him some really good at-bats.
And that's going to help them. I mean, we talked about a lot of times if you can get out of the starter and get into the bullpen, that's when you're going to have a lot more success.
2-2 changeup is lifted foul down the right field line, giving chase as Gothberg, but it will fall out of play into the storage area where they keep all the equipment. And Ryan, we noticed this earlier as the count is 2-2. There are no, I don't know if you mentioned this on the broadcast, or the past two broadcasts I've been away, but the dimension markers that say, oh, it's 305 down the left field line, it's 408 in center field, they've gone missing. The dimension bandit has come out, and I secretly think they're in that storage area over there. Have been overlooked by the grounds crew. You know what? I don't want to make speculation as Farley flies this one into center field. Easing over to his right is Kruger to make the grab. One away in the second.
Well, the interesting thing is whoever the dimension bandit is left one.
Yeah.
The 305 down the left field line. I know that threw me off the other night in the middle of the broadcast. I went to give the dimensions and looked down the left field line, looked out to center and right. They weren't there.
Here's Matt Kelly hitting from the left side. Takes a first pitch fastball, strike one. Nobody on, no score between the Pilots and the Wolverines. Top of the second inning. Valgartson working from the windup. The 0-1 on the way. Fastball misses down and in, and it's 1-1. I suppose where we should start looking, any ballparks that happen to have a center field that's 408 feet away from home plate, a left center that's 427 feet away, and a right field corner or right field line that's 312 as a ball is fouled back onto the rooftop, and it's 1-2 to Matt Kelly. Michael Forgione waiting on deck. Any suspicious looking ballparks like that, please, listeners, let us know. And I'm not sure who to contact. I don't want to say contact the police. Their hands may be full with other things.
Yeah, I don't
want any vigilante action.
I don't think
promote that. 1-2 pitch, curveball, misses up high and away. That was the slider, the slurve. 2-2 now to Matt Kelly. He's hitting 250 on the year. Bent at the waist, bent at the knees, kind of crouched over home plate from the left side, waving the bat behind his head. 2-2 on the way, fouled off again. So another nice long at bat here by a Pilot.
What that's going to do, we'll see too how the pitch count for Kyle Valgartson tonight. After being more of a reliever throughout the season, they typically don't necessarily have the same pitch count that they can go as a starter would. And so this is going to be kind of interesting to see how long they go with Valgartson.
2-2 is chopped to third. Ranging to his left is Estrada. Picks it up cleanly and throws to first. Nice play by Paul Estrada for the Wolverines, and they're 2 away in the second inning.
Defensive plays like that will help any pitcher on the mound. That's a great play by Estrada. Been pretty impressed with him, watching him during batting practice at third base. He's got a good glove over there at third.
He does. Estrada very smooth over there, taking the in-between hop Not an easy play to make. Now Estrada comes in onto the grass. Showing bunt is Forgione. Instead, he pulls it back and takes a strike. No score, top of the second inning. Portland, Utah Valley. Valgartson from the windup takes a deep breath and throws. The 0-1 fastball misses up and in, and it's 1-1. Portland threatened back in the first inning after a leadoff double. They ended up with a man at third and 1 out, and then they ended up with the bases loaded and 2 out and couldn't bring a man across. Swing and a miss. Forgione chased a fastball on the outer half of the plate, and it's 1-2. As the sun sets here in Orem, the Wasatch Mountains illuminated beyond left and center field. Bases empty, 2 out, the 1-2. Slider misses down and away. May have been a fastball there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Forgione hitting 196 on the year, 7 runs batted in. Strike 3 called right there on the outside corner. There was the slurve, and it got him looking. No runs, no hits, nobody left for Portland. We head to the bottom half of the second inning. No score here between UVU and Portland. It'll be Craig Brinkerhoff, Paul Estrada, and Jake Atkinson, 5, 6, 7 for the Wolverines here in the last of the second inning. No score here in Orem between Utah Valley and Portland. UVU and the University of Portland have split the first 2 games of this series. First pitch fastball misses away to Brinkerhoff. Back out there on the mound is Jordan Horak for the Pilots. The Wolverines had a single back in the first inning off the bat of Zach Willis as a ball misses down low, 2-0, but they couldn't do anything with it. A cool evening, high 50s here in Orem. The wind kind of swirling in center field. This one popped up high in the infield. Sapp calling everybody off to the right of first base. Now does the pop-up dance and makes the two-handed grab, and there's one away in the second. That is the third big pop-up in foul territory or in the infield that we've seen tonight. Guys just getting jammed, it looked like, right?
Yeah, jammed, and the other thing that happens as a hitter, you drop that shoulder, you lower the bat, you hit the top of the baseball. So as one thing as a hitter, you want to make sure you don't drop your shoulder. You want to keep it level as you go through the swing. Easy to do, though. Easier said than done.
Here's Estrada. Fastball misses above the belt. So, and what causes that? From Estrada, what is he doing to make you drop your shoulder? We've seen 3 different hitters.
Oftentimes it seems to be the breaking balls coming in and that you just get the bat underneath, it seems like. And that seems to be Horak throwing a lot of fastballs, but he's dropping in that breaking ball. A lot of it could be he's changing eye levels too quite a bit, bringing the high fastball, and then he's coming down with the low fastball.
1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses down low, way down low, and it's 2-1. Estrada made a nice defensive play last inning, scooping up an in-between hard-hit chopper, in-between hop. Now a ball misses down low, and it's 3-1. So nice at-bat here for Paul Estrada. He's hitting .289 on the year. 6 RBIs, no home runs. Estrada sharing time with freshman Jeff Ahrens over there at the hot corner so far this season. 3-1 pitch. Swung on, chopper foul down the third base line, and the count is full.
You know, kind of something to keep an eye on. I don't think Estrada's going to do this, but the third baseman, Matt Kelly, playing really deep in that hole with Estrada's speed, and you wouldn't do it with 2 strikes, but early on in a count, maybe watch for this later on. Wouldn't be surprised to see some right-handed hitters maybe try to just lay that bunt down. It's a tough play for Horak because he has to turn all the way around and throw.
Full count. Again, grounded foul down the third base line. There's a lot of room for extra bases in between the left and center fielder. The left fielder pulled way over, possibly a little to the left of straightaway left field, and then shading Estrada to the right in center is Whalen. Ball misses down low, breaking ball. And in there with a leadoff, or rather not a leadoff walk, but a one-out walk is Paul Estrada. Here comes Jake Atkinson.
And that's something we've seen Whalen do all series long. He seems to feel more comfortable playing in right center field and running out into the gap. Haven't seen it yet, but if Utah Valley lines one that he can't get there, that's going to be to the deepest part of the park, and there's a lot of green out there if you get past him.
So here's Atkinson, the right-handed hitter. The lefty, Horak, back into the stretch. Estrada with his short lead off first base, held on over there by Eric Sapp. First pitch to Atkinson. That one swung on and hit into left center field. Coming under it is Taylor, the left fielder. He'll settle, make the grab one-handed, and they're 2 away in the Wolverine second. Here's Trevor Howell with a man on first.
Trevor Howell had a couple of really good at-bats last night for Utah Valley. He's really having a good series. One of those guys, I mean, Jordan, another one of those guys that just always seems like he has a good at-bat, works counts, and does really well. Probably one of the reasons why oftentimes you see those hitters either at the very top of your lineup or that 8 and 9 spot to try to turn it over to the top of the lineup.
Yeah, Trevor Howell hitting .319 on the year, 7 runs batted in, no homers. First pitch fastball, knee high, inside corner, strike 1. Estrada has stolen 1 bag on the season, 1 for 1. He's over there at first base. The freshman from Long Beach, California, stays put, and a swing and a miss way out in front of a changeup there was Howell, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Howell, the 8th place hitter, Justin Erlinson would hit should Howell reach. And now time is called as Estrada wanted to, I think he may have had a shin pad on out there and wanted to, I'm not sure what that was.
He handed something.
It may have been a piece of garbage that was blown onto the field. I have no, because I'm not sure why he would be taking something off at this point. He's been on base for a little while as the ball is fouled back and onto the rooftop.
Whatever it was, first base coach Eric Vasquez just kind of putting it back in his back pocket there. But I'm like you, I typically would have saw a hitter take a shin pad off, and I didn't even see him have one when he was at the plate. So it's been kind of breezy here these last day or two, so would be easy for something to get blown onto the field.
0-2 pitch misses high, and it's 1-2 to Trevor Howell. Slightly open stance from the right side. A man on, 2 out. Nothing the score. Bottom of the second inning. Portland UVU. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, grounded over the third base bag into left field. Coming over is Taylor. He can't cut it off. It's going to carry him past him in the corner. Coming around third, racing home. He'll score. Estrada. 1-0 Wolverines. In there with an RBI double. Trevor Howell.
There we go. Just another one of those good at-bats. Not the hardest hit ball in the world. That's not going to win a contest for the hardest hit ball, but just put in a spot where Matt Kelly couldn't quite get to it, and it had some nice roll as it got all the way out there to the wall. The speed of Estrada. Portland not the only team on this field tonight that has good speed, and Estrada able to show his wheels coming around third.
So the Wolverines take a 1-0 lead as Hal picks up his 8th RBI of the season. Now Justin Erlinson with Hal himself in scoring position. Corner infield playing in, I should say third base playing in. Sapp about even with the bag at first. First pitch fastball, strike 1. And a nice job by Hal behind in the count to stay back on that ball and pull it fair down the third base line. It kind of kicked out in that right angle where the wall meets another wall in foul territory down there, down the left field line, as a ball misses outside 1-1, and it kicked past just a few feet past Taylor, but I don't think they were ever going to get the speeding Estrada anyway, scoring from first. And as you said, Ryan, it was not absolutely hammered, so it took a little bit for that ball to get down there. 1-1 pitch. Check swing. A strike called, no matter, by Lyle Mangum, and the count's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Erlinson. Bogdan in the top of the order for the Wolverines, waiting on deck. A man on, 2 out. 1-0, Utah Valley. Bottom of the second. The pitch to Erlinson. Breaking ball misses down low, and the count is even at 2-2. Playing rather shallow in right field is Lee. Deep in center and left are Waylon and Grant Taylor. The 2-2 pitch coming. Hal, good-sized lead at second. Now time is taken at home plate. The lights just about beginning to take full effect here at Brent Brown. 2-2. Fastball, ooh, up and in. Turning away from it was Erlinson, and the count is full. So the Wolverines really battling at the plate here, making Horak throw pitches. Horak peers in, glove tucked against his chest, now comes set, chest high. Checks the runner, 3-2 pitch. Outside, high and away, fastball missed. And in there with the 2-out walk is Erlinson. So runners on first and second now for Grayson Bogdan, the leadoff man for the Wolverines.
And really, if there's a member of the Wolverines that you want up in this situation, this is the guy I want. This is your home run leader at the plate. I believe he's up there too in RBIs coming into the game, and it's going to spark a quick visit from Greg Swenson, the pitching coach for Portland. And it's one of those situations where this is a clutch opportunity for Grayson Bogdan. Why not have one of your senior leaders at the plate?
The Wolverines can turn a 1-run inning into a crooked number. That's exactly what they'll be trying to do, as Swenson continues to speak with Horak out there on the mound. Bogdan, in his first plate appearance, popped up in foul territory, so he's looking to get the bat going tonight. Valgartson has had quite a rest on the bench. It's been somewhat of a long inning. It all started, innocently enough, with a pop-out and then a walk, but Trevor Howell doubled in Paul Estrada, followed by an Erlinson walk. So 2 runners on, 2 men out for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the second inning.
This is a golden opportunity for Utah Valley. I mean, this is an opportunity, runners on base, runners in scoring position with the runner out on second with Trevor Howell. This is an opportunity, like you said, Jordan, put up a crooked number, get some nice run support for Valgartson. This also gives him a rest to kind of maybe get some composure back from his struggles in the first and second.
First pitch to Bogdan is a slider that misses up high, and it's 1-0 to Grayson. Bogdan adjusts his batting gloves. Even stance from the right side, waving that bat out in front of the plate. Now he's ready. So is Horak. He throws. Fastball right there down the pipe, and it's 1-1. Bogdan may have been taking all the way there. He spits into his palms, rubs them together. Erlinson at first base, Trevor Howell at second. 2 out here in the bottom of the second inning. A man already home for the Wolverines. They lead 1-0. The 1-1 pitch on the way. A line drive down the left field line. It's going to roll and carry him up against the wall. One run will score. They're going to hold up Erlinson at third base. In there with an RBI double is Grayson Bogdan. It's 2-0 Utah Valley.
Right there, I mean, that's just a good piece of hitting. Grayson Bogdan, I think he has to have one of the purest swings that I've seen. Makes great contact, puts it down the line. I mean, he was hitting homers all the time today during batting practice. Just puts that one right down the left field line. Utah Valley put a couple of men in scoring position here. Here's that opportunity. We saw it last night with getting that 4-run inning. Now you get to Zach Willis. You know Jordan Horak wants to get out of the inning here because he doesn't want to bring up Kruger and Gothberg and Brinkerhoff.
It'll be interesting to see how he pitches Zach Willis. Willis singled off him back in the second inning, and Kruger, the left-handed hitter who popped up, waits on deck. We'll see if Willis swings at the first pitch. He does, grounds it to shortstop. Forgione has it, throws to first, and the inning is over. So the Wolverines get a couple runs on 1 2 hits. They leave 2 stranded. We head to the top of the third. Wolverines 2, Pilots nothing. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Back here on WolverineGreen.com, the Wolverines lead Portland 2-0 as we head to the top of the third inning. Back out there on the mound, the right-hander, Kyle Valgartson for Utah Valley. He'll face the top of the lineup for the Pilots. It'll be Jeffrey Lee, Eric Sapp, and Caleb Whalen. And to tell you all about it, here is Ryan Piggins.
All right, well, we'll go here at the top of the third inning. Jeffrey Lee will stand in to lead it off. Kyle Valgartson ready to go. The right-hander will wind and deliver the first pitch, a breaking ball that settles in at the knees for a called strike. And it's 0-1. Jeffrey Lee, 1 for 1, had a double down the right field line in his first at-bat to lead off the game for Portland, but then got cut down at the plate. The 0-1 pitch misses low for a ball, and the count moves here to 1 ball and 1 strike to count here on Jeffrey Lee. Valgartson ready to go here with the 1-1. Looks in, gets the sign from Jake Atkinson behind home plate, and delivers. Lee swings, hits that one to right. Erlinson will give it a few steps, but then it will go foul. And it will be 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Jeffrey Lee. It will be Jeffrey Lee, Eric Sapp, Caleb Whalen, 1, 2, and 3 coming up here in the Portland Pilots lineup. Outfield playing pretty straight away. Infield straight up as well as Lee swings and fouls that one back. And it's 1-2 the count here on Jeffrey Lee. Dusk is setting in here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Lights coming on here. Traffic beginning on a Saturday night to come down University Parkway. Lee will take a step out of the batter's box.
Ryan, looking on the out-of-town scoreboard, or looking at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Pitch comes in, that one missing low, ball 2. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You alerted me to this one earlier. Arizona, the University of Arizona, took care of Sacramento State by a final of 23-1. That game, man.
And that's surprising because Sacramento State, as that pitch swung on and fouled back, the Hornets there have put together a really good program. Coach Christensen's really built that program up where they went to a regional and everything there. That's really kind of a surprising loss to see them lose 23-1. But, I mean, every program, I guess, has an off day every now and then, and maybe today's was it for Sacramento State.
Yeah, in a couple weeks, UVU will head down to Tucson for a midweek game with Arizona.
Breaking ball, and Lee's going to kind of fist that one to second. Right there is Trevor Howell for the first out of the third inning.
It's a nice job by Kyle Valgartson. Lee, a nice at bat, again, battling deep into the count, and Valgartson wins the battle ultimately.
So Eric Sapp will come to the plate. Sapp grounded out to first back in the first inning, grounded out to Spencer Gothberg. On that same trip when Utah Valley will head down to Tucson to take on the Wildcats, after that midweek contest, they'll head up north to take on Grand Canyon in the WAC openers. The first pitch misses high with the fastball. 1 ball and no strikes to count on Eric Sapp. Sapp in last night's ballgame had first 2 at-bats, and then he was pulled for Kevin Wade. In those 2 at-bats, he went down on strikes both attempts. This one will be softly rolled over towards the Portland dugout, and the count moves here to 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Sapp also has had a couple of stolen bases in this series. He's got good speed as the shift comes on for Utah Valley. Grayson Bogdan playing to the right of the second base bag. Trevor Howell playing more in between first and second as Sapp fouls that one away, and it's 1-2 the count.
Some other scores on that out-of-town scoreboard. Northern Colorado fell to South Dakota State by a final of 11-3. UC Riverside took care of Bakersfield 7-3. Chicago State beat Illinois Chicago 6-3. And that was a doubleheader, actually. Chicago State swept the doubleheader.
The 1-2 pitch coming in is going to be popped up on the infield. Grayson Bogdan's going to meander out to center field, and he'll make the catch in shallow center for the second out of the inning. So Kyle Valgartson has seemed to settle down quite a bit here. He's got the first two of the third, and that brings up the hot-hitting Caleb Whalen.
Yeah, Valgartson has retired the last 5 men he has faced. Just to keep looking at that scoreboard, San Diego defeated New Mexico State 10-1, and Purdue beat North Dakota 5-0. So far, not a great day for the WAC.
There's the slurve in there at the knees for a called strike, and it's 0-1.
But UT Rio Grande Valley leads Arlington Baptist 6-0. That game in the bottom of the third.
So hopefully Utah Valley can make it a good night here for the rest of the Western Athletic Conference as the breaking ball gets in at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to count here on Caleb Whalen. Whalen had a great weekend. We've talked about the last couple of nights. Last week for Portland in that series against UC Riverside. It's also named the West Coast Conference, I believe, position player or hitter of the week, the 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be lined out into left center field. That's going to fall in front of Craig Brinkerhoff, and a 2-out single for Whalen. He'll take a hard turn around first, and he'll hold there with the base hit. So with 2 outs, that will bring up Cooper Hummel. Hummel will hit here from the left side of the plate, and it was from the same left side of the plate the other night he hit that 2-run homer. But for the majority of the rest of the series, Hummel has been facing left-handed pitchers in Patrick Wolf last night. And then he did have a couple at-bats later on in the game against Evan Fresquez and Greg McCooch that came from the left side of the plate. So Hummel, the switch-hitting catcher, will stand in here from the left side. 2 down, top of the third inning. 2-0 Utah Valley leading the University of Portland Pilots. Pitch comes in, that one missing away with the fastball. It's 1 ball and no strikes the count here on Cooper Hummel. A quiet Saturday night, a late arriving crowd still filling the seats here on this Saturday night. A cool night for baseball here at the ballpark, but nonetheless, it's almost perfect for March baseball. That one off the plate. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes the count.
Yeah, you can't expect much better weather than this.
Game 3 of the series, high noon, first pitch tomorrow. Danny Bettis will get the start here tomorrow for Utah Valley. Two-0 pitch about to come home. That one high with the fastball, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes the count here on Jake Atkinson.
So Valgartson began this inning so promisingly. He was sharp, got the first 2 men to pop up, and has since given up a hard base hit. And now can't find the strike zone as Gothberg, the first baseman, comes in and has a word with him.
Nice word, senior to senior together here. Once again, the shift on for Utah Valley, and the 3-0 pitch is going to be over for a called strike right on the outside corner. Great job by Valgartson putting that in a spot where if Hummel hits or swings at that, he was going to be kind of testing him there. But as typical, the 3-0 pitch, typically a hitter will take all the way. 3-1, though, would be a completely different story. A fastball count here if you're Cooper Hummel. And there's a check swing, and that's going to miss. Ball 4, appeal to second, no, says our base umpire, in this case Pancho Flores. And now a couple of pilots on here, and Valgartson once again finds himself in some trouble as Ryan Barr will come to the plate. Second walk of the night for Cooper Hummel, and now Ryan Barr will come to the plate. Barr in the first inning was hit by a pitch, and then he was stranded on the base paths. 2 down here, and it looks like
Eric Matson really, it may be Dave Carter, we can't see quite into the UVU dugout right there, but one of the UVU coaching staff giving home plate umpire Lyle Mangum a real piece of his mind, and Mangum took off his mask and walked over there, passed off the dirt of the around the home plate area, and had a few words for one of the Wolverine coaches himself. That's a Joe West move there.
Lyle Mangum was the umpire on Thursday night in that controversial call back in the first inning. of whether or not the Portland base runner was safe or out at third, and that pitch popped up on the infield. Gothberg going to give it a look. Atkinson giving it a look, but he's going to run out of room, and the ball will roll off the netting. No balls and a strike. So Eric Madsen and Lyle Mangum had a word there then as well, and oftentimes in a 3 or 4 game series, that, starting with that kind of an experience going later on can kind of, I guess, aggravate an umpire, shall we say. Sometimes we've seen that, I know, at the major league level a few times. And it's no balls and a strike.
It happens. Barr, the designated hitter, looking to come up with the big hit here. Valgartson, again, we've talked about how his command of the pitching staff has been, his fastball command in particular, has been so good. Tonight, it's been a little inconsistent.
Fastball misses high, and count moves to 1-1. Trevor Howell playing just to the right of the second base bag. You can see him there on your screen at home, and a good opportunity here. I mean, a big hole on that right side with Gothberg playing more towards the line with 2 outs, not holding the runner, Cooper Hummel, but at the same time, still having to kind of pay some kind of attention to him over there at first to prevent him from getting a huge lead. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Valgartson kicks and delivers. Swung on and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count on Ryan Barr. He took a big cut there and came up empty. 2 down, top of the 3rd inning. 2-0 Utah Valley on top of Portland. Game 3 of a 4-game set. Utah Valley trying to see if they can't. They've had back-to-back 4-game series the last 2 weekends. They won 3 of 4 last weekend up at Washington State and Pullman. Trying to see if they can't do the same here and build some momentum. Breaking ball. That one's lined right back up to center field. It's going to fall in front of Kruger. Coming around third is Caleb Whalen. He will score, and Portland has cut the lead in half with 1 swing of the bat.
Yeah, not a terribly hard hit ball, but falls in there in front of Kruger, and the Pilots narrow the Wolverine lead. All of this coming with after 2 outs, or with 2 outs, I should say, rather.
And that's definitely got to be kind of hard on Kyle Valgartson here to make this adjustment from, being a guy who's used to throwing maybe 1 or 2 innings at most out of the bullpen to have to now jump in and start the ball game. But nonetheless, he's done pretty well. He's held the Pilots so far to 3 hits. Has walked a couple and hit 1 batter by pitch, but for the most part, doing his job, and that's keeping Utah Valley close. As with 2 down, Grant Taylor, the left fielder, stands in. Taylor 0 for 1 went down swinging with the bases loaded back in the first. Valgartson checks the runner and delivers. Taylor swings through it and comes up empty. No balls and 1 strike to count coming here on Grant Taylor.
The outfield playing deep all the way around, straight away for the Wolverines. We mentioned earlier, Taylor really has struggled from the plate this season. Only batting .136.
3 for his first 22 after that strikeout in his first at-bat. The 0-1 pitch is going to be swung on and tapped foul and rolled past Gothberg. Grant Taylor is senior out of Lake Oswego, Oregon, and played at Lake Oswego High School. A couple of members of this Portland Pilot team from Lake Oswego. Cooper Hummel, the runner out at second base from Lake Oswego, played at Lake Ridge High School. And then Jordan Horak from Lake Oswego as well. I think there's 3 that hail from Lake Oswego. No balls and 2 strikes to count. The pitch on its way. Taylor hits that one out to deep left center field. Brinkerhoff and Kruger going to give it a look, and that ball is going to be, it looks like it's gone for a 3-run shot for Grant Taylor. And Grant Taylor has just given the Portland Pilots a lead with a 3-run home run. Only his 4th hit of the season, but this one will plate 3, and it's 4-2 Portland.
Yeah, ball just kept on carrying out there toward left center field. Didn't seem to be hit all that hard. But a mistake from Valgartson up in the zone, and Taylor hit it out of the ballpark.
I lost it there for just a brief second, and I wasn't sure if it was going to hit with the way that Craig Brinkerhoff went back on it. It looks like it was just sitting right at the base of the wall almost, but nonetheless, it just gets over the sign there right by the light pole, and it's 4-2 in favor of Portland, and the first pitch is a called strike with Kevin Farley. The sad thing, Jordan, like you mentioned, the sad thing is all this coming with 2 outs in the inning. And typically, that's one thing you want to do. You get those first 2, you want to finish it up and get that 3rd.
Taylor showing some muscle there, hitting that ball the other way.
No balls and a strike, and the delivery comes right off the plate and evens the count at 1. 1 ball and 1 strike the count here from Kevin Farley. Farley 0 for 1. He flew out to Mark Kruger back in the second inning. And now it looks like some action going to begin down in that Utah Valley bullpen. All 3 games of the series, the Wolverines have gotten action going early. We saw Logan Hold actually come in for 5 innings of relief the other night.
Yeah, that's Jake Mayer out there, the righty.
The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed, and the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Kevin Farley. Mayer's been used to being either a starter in that long relief role throughout the season at Utah Valley. So an opportunity if he has to come in to maybe give Eric Madsen 3 or 4 innings for sure. The 1-2 pitch coming home, and that one's going to be hit into right center field. Coming over is Mark Kruger. He is there, reaches up, and he makes the play, and the 3rd inning comes to an end. So the Pilots do their damage all with 2 outs. They score 4 runs, but the big shot, a 3-run homer from Grant Taylor. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Portland 4, Utah Valley 2. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Bottom of the 3rd inning starting here at Brent Brown Ballpark on the campus of Utah Valley University, where the Portland Pilots have just added 4 runs to the top of the 3rd inning off Kyle Valgartson. The Wolverines will try to see here if they can't add here to kind of what's going on. So a big opportunity here for Mark Kruger to come to the plate. It will be 3, 4, and 5 Kruger, Gothberg, and Brinkerhoff coming up here in the inning against Jordan Horak, the left-hander. And once again, that shift coming on for Kruger with only 1 guy on the left side as Kruger swings through the first. It's no balls and a strike. The only man is Matt Kelly, and he's playing a little more up towards the hole there, but there's a lot of room on that left side. The 0-1 pitch, Horak will, it's like time called as Kruger will step out of the box. The shift has the second baseman Farley deep in the hole on the right side. Up the middle for Joni right up the middle. That one's going to bounce in the dirt and get to the backstop, and the count moves to 1-1 on Kruger. Kruger 0 for 1, popped up high on the infield to the catcher Cooper Hummel on, I believe, the first or second pitch of the at-bat, working here as the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball stays high and tight for a ball, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike to count here on Mark Kruger.
You know, it's always big after giving up runs in that top half of the inning to answer even with one of your own, just one, because it's a big momentum shift when you can get runs and then put the stop and get a shutdown inning.
Horak ready to go, kicks and comes home with the 2-1, and Kruger fouls that one away, and we'll stay. Okay, that did get fouled. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to count here. I saw Matt Kelly and Joe go sprinting after it, and I thought for sure off the bat that the ball was hit hard enough it was easily going to get out of play, but then it just...
It's understandable. It was only 100 or 200 feet foul.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Horak ready to go once again. Big hole off in left center field. Breaking ball called. Strike 3 in at the knees.
Beautiful curveball there from Horak to get the strikeout, get Mark Kruger looking.
That is Horak's first strikeout of the night, as now Spencer Gothberg comes to the plate. Gothberg hit into a fielder's choice to end the top of the 1st inning. 101 out, bottom of the third inning. Infield will now go back to kind of a regular depth. Gothberg swinging first pitch, bounces it to second, takes a high hop on Farley, but he recovers and makes the throw in time for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, nice. Perfectly called there by you, Ryan. Farley sticking with that one as it hit a pebble and kind of jumped above his head, but didn't panic, made the play.
And so now with 2 outs in the inning, it's going to bring up Craig Brinkerhoff. Brinkerhoff ready to go as we get set here. Ready to go. Horak, the left-hander, comes home and pitch gets on the inside corner for a called strike. And it's no balls and 1 strike to count here on Craig Brinkerhoff. And the pitch, Brinkerhoff swings and fouls that one foul, and it's 0-1. Or 0-2, sorry, on Brinkerhoff. Jordan Horak, the left-hander, will get ready to go. Once again on the mound, ready to go with the 0-2 pitch. Fastball missing off the plate, and the count moves to 1-2. So a good opportunity here for Craig Brinkerhoff from the right side of the plate to try to get something going with 2 away. Always dangerous Paul Estrada in the on-deck circle. The wind and the delivery, the 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. That one's going to skip away from Cooper Hummel. He's not going to have a play at first, so Brinkerhoff will be safe. It will be a strikeout for Brinkerhoff, but he'll reach first on, I'm pretty sure in that case, it's going to be probably a wild pitch with how in the dirt it was. It was not even a ball that really Cooper Hummel had a huge chance to block because it was so far out in front of home plate.
Yeah, so a huge break for the Wolverines. They'll bring the tying run to the plate here after a strikeout. See if they can take advantage of this.
So here comes Paul Estrada. Estrada had a walk back in the second and came around to score in that inning as well. Brinkerhoff with decent speed over at first base. On the year, 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts. Estrada swings first pitch, rolls it to Matt Kelly. Kelly will throw to first, and the throw is in time as Sapp is able to hold on for the third out of the inning. So Utah Valley gets 1 man on base, but they strand him. We head to the bottom of the third inning at top of the fourth inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Portland 4, Utah Valley 2. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Top of the fourth inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Starting here, Kyle Valgartson will go back to work after a 4-run inning for Portland in the third inning. Valgartson, all 4 of those runs being charged as earned runs. The 3-run shot coming from Grant Taylor. As we step in, it will be Matt Kelly, the third baseman, to stand in and lead it off. Matt Kelly, Michael Forgione, and then Jeffrey Lee, 8, 9, and 1 coming up against Kyle Valgartson here in the fourth. Valgartson ready to go. He kicks and delivers, and the first pitch, a breaking ball off the plate. It's 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Matt Kelly. Kelly 0 for 1, grounded out to third, back in the fourth inning. Ready to go, the 1-0 pitch about to come home. Valgartson kicks and delivers that pitch, missing low and inside, 2 balls and no strikes to count. Thanks for tuning in here on a Saturday night. Portland 4, Utah Valley 2, Game 3, this 4-game set. Ryan Pickens and Jordan Bianucci on the call for you. The 2-0 pitch right on the outside corner with the called strike, and the count moves to 2-1 on Matt Kelly. Kelly hitting .240 on the season. Last night's ball game had a walk before being replaced by Dan Whitaker. I pitch in there for a strike, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Portland will begin, I believe, their West Coast Conference schedule next week. I believe they're going to be at Loyola Marymount down in California to open up their West Coast Conference series, or season, I should say. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cal Valgartson right now pitching for UVU, slowing down here just a little bit in the inning. Just trying to kind of keep the pace going here. Valgartson kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, popped up. Going to give it a look as Jake Atkinson, but it's going to get foul. We'll have another 2-2 pitch coming. Yeah, next weekend, Portland will be down at Loyola Marymount, and then they'll have a midweek game following that against Oregon State up in Portland. The Beavers will make the trip up to Portland, and then they'll be home for Cal State Northridge. Pitch swung on and fouled away. Utah Valley will have one more week of non-conference play with the Minnesota Golden Gophers before Grand Canyon will start the WAC portion of their schedule. And, of course, the goal to be in the top 6 and head down to Mesa for the WAC tournament in May. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the kick and the delivery home. Valgartson, that one off the glove of Atkinson for ball 3. Kyle Valgartson kind of going to that 3-quarter kind of arm slot delivery there. And it just happened to go right off the glove of Jake Atkinson. We see that from time to time from Kyle Valgartson. Count runs full, 3-2. Infield playing pretty straight up as the pitch is going to be swung on, grounded through the hole. Bogdan's going to try to get there. It's going to kick off his glove and go into left field. Kelly makes the turnaround first. He's heading for second. The throw will be late, and Kelly's diving in head first with a, I believe that's, I'm not sure how they're going to rule that. That's going to be at least a single, I would think, because even if Bogdan, it will be a hit. And so it's going to be a hit and an error, it looks like. It's what they're putting up on the scoreboard anyway. So give Matt Kelly a single, and then he reaches second on the E6. That's what I'm assuming. Yep, and there goes the error against Utah Valley. The Wolverines have had a couple of games where they've really played fine defense. That's a tough error if you're Grayson Bogdan because the ball was so deep in the hole, but when it kicked off his glove and rolled out into left field, there was really no other way to score it other than an error because of the extra base for Matt Kelly. And now Jake Atkinson to go out to have a word as it looks like Jake Mayer will begin to get loose again in the Utah Valley bullpen. The second time tonight that Jake Mayer's been getting loose down the left field line. The bullpens here at Brent Brown Ballpark sit on the field just kind of down the line, kind of like they would down at the Coliseum in Oakland, as I believe that is Eric Madsen coming out of the dugout, and Kyle Valgartson's night appears it could be coming to an end. Jake Mayer's left the mound, and he will now head into the ball game. So the night for Kyle Valgartson is going to come to an end after 3 innings. He gets hit for the 4 runs. We'll take a quick break here. We'll come back. We'll give you the numbers on the new pitcher and also finish the night for Kyle Valgartson. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
The Wolverines trail 4-2 to the Pilots back here on WolverineGreen.com. Kyle Valgartson hit the right-hander. His night is over. Jake Mayer in to replace him. Look at Mayer's stats this season. This will be his 4th appearance. He's 0-1 win-loss. He's pitched 12 1/3 innings, struck out 7, and walked 7. Opponents are hitting .400 against the righty. So Mayer will try to get the Wolverines out of the jam. They have a runner on second, the Pilots do. That's Matt Kelly with nobody out. And Mayer will face the right-handed hitting Michael Forgione.
So an opportunity here for Jake Mayer, kind of looking, I would think here for Eric Madsen and Dave Carter in that Utah Valley dugout. You're looking for a very similar performance to what Logan Holt did in Game 1 when he went, I believe, the 5 1/3 innings. You're probably looking for something similar here because that could really help save that bullpen here in the 4-game series. I mean, also the hope is with typically your Friday night starter, Danny Bettis, going to the mound tomorrow, you would think hopefully he'd be able to get deep into the ballgame for you. Michael Forgione squares around a bunt here with nobody out. Portland going to look to play some small ball. The bunt's going to be laid right back to Mayer off his glove. Fields it. He's going to fire over to first, and Trevor Howell goes to his knees, able to glove the baseball. Probably maybe an error throw by Mayer. Probably should have just held on to the baseball. But a good job by Trevor Howell to make sure that one didn't get past him.
It was a nice play. It was, as you said, Ryan, a perfect bunt to the left of the pitcher's mound, really right there in no man's land. Now they're runners on the corners, I say, with nobody out. But Mayer almost made a sensational play, but I agree with you. It would have been a whole lot less risky had he just not thrown the ball, because I don't think he didn't get Forgione, but boy, it was pretty impressive, him sprawling out and making that throw from his knees.
If he would have made it, I would have given him a ton of credit, but the kind of like you talked about, very risky, a high reward, high risk play as the first pitch is over for a called strike to Jeffrey Lee. Be careful here with Forgione. He's 7 of 8 this year on stolen base opportunities over at first base. Running over at third, you have Matt Kelly, who's 1 for 3. So not saying Portland will try a double steal, but if they look to do something of that nature, they might look to do it with these two guys on the base paths.
You're not saying they will. You're not saying they won't.
Forgione is going here on the pitch. Atkinson with the throw down to second, right on time, but they didn't get him. They're going to say Forgione's right leg in that slide just got underneath the tag of Trevor Howell, and now there's a couple of men on in scoring position for Portland, and the more dangerous side is you got great speed on both of those bases.
The throw pulled Trevor Howell just to the right, a little too far to the right of the second base bag. Had it not, I think they would have had him, because it's like you said, Ryan, his foot just barely got in there as they tagged him high up on the leg.
The 1-1 pitch to Jeffrey Lee is swung on and grounded to third. That's going to hold the run. Estrada's throw across the diamond in time for the first out of the 4th inning.
That's as good as a strikeout. Nice job by Jake Mayer to get one here.
So with one out, now you bring up Eric Sapp. And really right there, that's much needed if you're Utah Valley and Jake Mayer, because really 2 runs here in the 4th. I mean, a couple swings of the bat can change that, but what you want to avoid is another crooked inning. Sapp will come to the plate 0 for 2 tonight. Popped out to Grayson Bogdan and grounded back to Kyle Valgaardson in his first at-bat. He'll stand in from the left side of the plate here with 1 out. Shift is on here, so one guy on the left side of the infield, and Sapp takes the first pitch off the plate with the fastball. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Portland 4, Utah Valley 2. Top of the 4th inning here on a Saturday night baseball from Brent Brown Ballpark. Utah Valley with a very favorable home schedule this year. Some good teams, too, coming to Brent Brown Ballpark. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Swung out and missed. Sapp took a big cut there and came up empty. One ball and 1 strike to count. Ready to go once again. Sapp will take a look down to Jake Valentine in the third base coaching box. I believe that's Jake Valentine. That's who was there at least on Thursday night for the Pilots. 1-1 ready to go. Mayer checks the runner at third. Bunt being shown. Popped it up. Gothberg and Atkinson, neither will be able to get there. Boy, Eric Sapp is lucky because he might have just, if that is any different area of the infield, then that's probably out number 2, and you just gave him an out basically.
Yeah, that ball was just popped up far enough toward the on-deck circle there near the Pilot dugout on the first base side, and he did. He did get lucky.
That's the one thing when you're going to do that bunt. If you're going to foul it somewhere, foul it on the ground. Don't pop the bunt up there. And I'm sure Jeff Loomis, the head coach, is probably saying the same thing in the dugout.
What a call there. Your second-place hitter, who is not hitting poorly really this season, having a bunt there.
1-2 pitch. That one just misses off the plate. Ball 2, and it evens the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sapp struggling in the series and for Portland, but
has great speed.
Has really good speed, and he showed that in the first game of the series. He was able to find his way on one time in the first and then stole second to start that game off on Thursday night. Gothberg's going to play even with the bag at first. The 2-2 pitch swung out and missed. Strike 3. A huge strikeout for Jake Mayer. And now with 2 down, a chance to get out of the inning with Caleb Whalen coming to the plate. The first strikeout of the night for Jake Mayer. And now, I guess the hard part here if you're Utah Valley is you do have Whalen coming to the plate. He has hit into a fielder's choice and singled and came around to score in the third. Whalen, one of the hotter hitters in this Portland lineup. First base is open, but I don't really know if I'd rather pitch to Cooper Hummel either. I think I'd rather just take my chances with Whalen here, especially this early in the ballgame.
And the righty-on-righty matchup.
That pitch swung on, hit down the line. Brinkerhoff's not going to get there. It's going to one-hop the wall. Coming in to score is Kelly Forgione right behind him. A 2-run RBI double there for Caleb Whalen, and it's 6-2 Portland. Maybe I was wrong.
So Mayer, after making 2 great pitches to get 2 guys out with 2 men already on, after giving up the single and inheriting 1 runner, just 1 pitch that kind of hung up there in the zone, and Whalen took advantage of it.
And we'll see. I'm trying to think here to see with 2 outs, that's going to bring up Cooper Hummel. 6-2 Pilots there after the 2-run double by Whalen. Cooper Hummel doesn't have an official at-bat tonight, walked in both of his plate appearances. Mayer's first pitch, a fastball misses off the plate for a ball. It's 1 ball and no strikes. So we'll change that on Kyle Valgartson. I originally had said he gave up 4 runs tonight. We can officially close the book. He's going to get 1 of those 2 runs charged to him. So 3 innings for Valgartson, 5 hits, 5 runs, all of which have been earned. 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Right here. So the fourth inning ends as Jake Mayer gets a huge strikeout of Ryan Barr to end the inning, but not before the Pilots score two more. We start the bottom of the fourth inning here on WolverineGreen.com. Ryan Pickens and Jordan Bianucci.
Yeah, just had some technical difficulties.
Nonetheless, we got him fixed pretty quick as that one misses for a ball, and the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Here on Jake Atkinson to lead it off. Atkinson, Howell, and Erlinson, 7, 8, 9 coming up. Here against Jordan Horak in the bottom of the fourth inning. The wind, the delivery comes, and Atkinson swings through it. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. So 1-2 the count as Jake Atkinson stands in. Jordan Horak now pitching with the lead. And the pitch, breaking ball, misses. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So both times in the series when Utah Valley has found a way to score first, the Portland Pilots have found a way to answer in the next half inning. Did it on Thursday night, and they did it again tonight. Horak ready to go once again. He'll kick and deliver the 2-2. And Atkinson swings and misses. The ball is going to get away, though, from Hummel. He'll fire down to first. A nice play by Sapp for the first out of the fourth. K2-3 in the scorebook, and now with 1 out, Trevor Howell will come to the plate. Howell had an RBI double down the left field line in his first at-bat back in the second inning to get that first run of the ballgame home for Utah Valley as Paul Estrada scored all the way from first. Ready to go with the first pitch, and Howell takes that one low for a ball. It's 1 ball and no strikes to count. Here as we get set, ready to go. Horak set to go. The 1-0 pitch winds and delivers, and that pitch in on the inside corner for a called strike, and it's 1-1. Big hole once again sitting off in left center field for Trevor Howell. Ready to go, the 1-1 pitch. Fouled away, and it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Trevor Howell. Justin Erlinson would wait on deck for Utah Valley as the Wolverines try to claw their way back in it. The 1-2 pitch from Horak, breaking ball, misses for ball 2, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Trevor Howell.
If you're the Wolverines, you'd like to get Horak back in the stretch. He's really settling in here in that windup.
Ready to go once again as the 2-2 pitch comes home. Howell's going to swing and hit that one back with the middle. Diving attempt by Farley, but it's going to get into center field for a base hit. Good job by Farley there. He covered a lot of ground to get there, but the ball just took kind of a wicked hop on him as he dove for it, and it's going to be a base hit.
Yeah, second hit of the night for Trevor Howell.
And so with 1 out, Justin Erlinson will come to the plate. Erlinson walked in his at-bat in the second inning, and then was stranded at third after the RBI double by Grayson Bogdan. So getting his lead over at first is Trevor Howell. Howell on the season is 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts. First throw will be over to first. And Howell back standing there. I think Sapp kind of lost his footing there as he went to apply that tag. Great night for baseball here in the Utah Valley. The radar gun flashing 08. It's the pickoff move, throws back over. So I'm not sure if that is somebody threw the ball 8 miles an hour, or I'm not sure. I'm going to assume that was
it's a malfunction of some sort. Go with malfunction.
Here comes Erlinson. Erlinson is a junior college transfer out of Bend, Oregon, and he takes the first pitch low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Played at Bend Senior High School, and then played his junior college baseball at Scottsdale Community College. And Jordan, I have been to Bend.
And?
It's a nice town. I ate at the Denny's there on my way out to Utah.
A Denny's?
Yep. The pitch, that one's going to be blocked in the dirt. It's going to get away from Cooper Hummel, and going down to second base is going to be Trevor Howell.
So if the Wolverines could just get one run back here, trailing 6-2 in the top of the fourth, and get something going, and we're going to have a visit to the mound from the pitching coach, Greg Swenson, again, as the count is 2-0. So wait, Bend, Oregon is in, how close to Portland is that?
So, okay, so if you're in Portland, so let's take Lake Oswego to make, a nice Portland effect. You would go, well, there's a couple of different ways you could do it. You could go south to where I'm from, Eugene, and then head over to the mountains. But most people would probably just kind of cut through the Cascade Mountain Range.
Ah, the Cascade.
Yep, and through the Cascades. So I'm not specifically sure how you do it from Portland, but Bend is a nice town. I've heard
Has a
wonderful
Denny's.
things.
Better. I mean, that's all you had to say.
So to give you an idea, Jordan, I pulled up a Google map for you to kind of help. So Portland's up here in the north. I know people at home can't see this. And then
You know this is on the radio.
Bend is right here. If I could bring up the graphic, I would for everyone at home. But to kind of give you an idea, I think that's probably roughly around, probably 3, maybe 3.5 or so, depending on which way you go. So that's what I would say.
We're learning a lot.
And, of course, if I'm wrong, then I don't know my Oregon geography very well, and it's probably a good thing I live in Utah.
Yeah,
So with one out, Justin Erlinson stands in. The first pitch blocked again in the dirt by Hummel, but heading down to third and diving head first safely is Trevor Howell.
that's what you need, little breaks if you're the Wolverines.
That probably could be back-to-back wild pitches, and that would be the third of the night against Jordan Horak. He had the one, I believe, last inning that Brinkerhoff reached on that just didn't quite get there and went to the backstop. And they will give him a wild pitch. 3-0 to Erlinson, misses low, ball 4. And Utah Valley has something going once again for Grayson Bogdan. Second walk of the night for Erlinson. And Grayson Bogdan looking to try to do what he did last time. He had the double with an RBI in the second. And just as we say that, some action beginning to go down in the Portland bullpen. Pilots getting, it looks like, a right-hander going up. So a big opportunity for Grayson Bogdan to try to see if he can't get that one run. Because, Jordan, like you talked about, trailing by 4 here in the fourth, it'd be a lot easier to get one run back and get maybe one an inning than have to try to get a 4 spot later on in the ballgame. Horak from the stretch, and the pitch comes in to Bogdan, misses low with a ball, 1 ball and no strikes to count on Grayson Bogdan. So now Jordan Horak, who has really had pretty good command tonight, he's starting to have a hard time finding the strike zone here in the fourth.
That's Jackson Lockwood getting loose, the righty in the pen.
We saw Lockwood for a couple innings the other night as the pitch misses for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
And he's trying to get ready in a hurry, and I was going to mention that's the Wolverines have that going for them, is they didn't have anybody getting up in the pen for Horak as he walked that last batter. So getting up very quickly is Lockwood.
This will be Horak's 66th pitch of the night. As Bogdan swings, hits this one pretty well. Hit it out into left field, going back on the baseballs. Howell, it's going to hit fall for a base hit. Howell's going to be able to walk in. Moving to seconds, Erlinson, and Grayson Bogdan's aboard here in the fourth. That ball was popped up and just hit into a spot where, with Whalen playing more into that right center field gap like we talked about, he had a long run. And then Taylor in left had a long run, and the shortstop Forgione went out on it, and just it fell right in between the 3.
Yeah, a little Bermuda triangle out there in between everybody. The shortstop, Forgione, almost made a sensational grab over the shoulder into the glove, but it popped out. Then he almost barehanded caught the ball, but ultimately it fell to the ground, and the Wolverines get a run back. Now 2 men on with nobody out, and that's going to do it looks like, for Horak.
Jordan Horak's night looks like it's coming to an end. Lockwood begins to trot in from the bullpen. We'll take a break here on WolverineGreen.com. We'll get the numbers on Lockwood as Utah Valley threatening with 1 out in the fourth. 1 run in, 2 more on the base pass. We'll find out, can Utah Valley continue to chip into the lead after the break here on WolverineGreen.com.
The Wolverines trail 6-3 here in the bottom of the fourth. However, they have 2 men on with only 1 out. New pitcher on for Portland. It's the right-hander, Jackson Lockwood. This is his 5th appearance. He started 1 game this year, but his 5th overall appearance. He's pitched 14 innings, walked 7, struck out 11. Opponents are hitting .306 against the righty. And he will face Zach Willis, the 2-man for the Wolverines. And Willis represents the tying run here, although we have plenty of baseball to be left to be played, I should say. So the Wolverines have seen a lefty, Horak, all night. Now they'll look at the righty, and the Wolverines have a heavy right-handed lineup. Only 1 left-hander in the entire lineup, and that's Mark Kruger, who's waiting on deck.
So Jackson Lockwood, the right-hander, comes in. We saw Lockwood the other night for a couple of innings out of the bullpen.
In fact, the other night, Lockwood went 2 innings, gave up a hit and 2 runs, 1 of those being earned. He walked 3 batters, struck out 1, so he had some trouble finding the plate the other night, finding the strike zone.
And if I remember correctly, he's kind of has a 3/4 arm slot delivery here. He'll turn and look back. Justin Erlinson to second base here. Utah Valley has Justin Erlinson on at second, Grayson Bogdan over at first. So good speed here with the bat of Zach Willis at the plate. Willis hitting .298, 1 for 2 tonight. Had a single to center back in the first. First pitch is going to miss for a ball, and it's 1-0. Utah Valley having some good at-bats here in the fourth, where they've been able to kind of work the count and kind of stretch to try to get into those good hitters' counts. We've seen the Wolverines at times this season and throughout this series to get kind of looking for that first pitch fastball, and they'll swing at it and make a quick out. And so an opportunity there. We'll get the final numbers on Jordan Horak when we can close the book on him, but he right now is responsible for Grayson Bogdan over at first as Lockwood inherits 2 base runners.
Lockwood, the 6'3", 210-pound senior out of Broomfield, Colorado. Went to Broomfield High School.
Pitch comes in, and that pitch misses low, and it's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to count.
That one was pretty close. Looked to be about there. Lockwood throws an 86 to 90 mile an hour fastball. Good sink on the fastball, and he'll counter that with a slider.
So the 2-0 pitch, Willis swings and fouls that one. Ooh, that almost went right to us. There's just a little bit of a spot between the netting and the roof, and as I watched that one come up, I thought that was going to fall through the middle of that netting there, but nonetheless, it will go foul here for Zach Willis.
Yeah, the netting extends here at Brent Brown Ballpark all the way from each dugout near the on-deck circle to the rooftop and all above, so if you're really anywhere behind home plate, you're safe from a foul ball.
There's a called strike, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. If you sit beyond the dugouts there, that's when it kind of starts to get in no man's land. During the state baseball tournament, I broadcasted a couple of games from right down the first baseline there. Both times I've had a ball hit right to me and didn't have my glove. Pitch fouled away, and every year I say, next year I got to bring my glove.
And no room in the booths for you?
No, it's just the way the setup has to be. I do some in the booth, and then I do a couple down there. So this is kind of the setup, the way it goes. So, Jordan, to answer your question, depending on which way you win, it'd be between 3 hours and 18 minutes to 3 hours and 38 minutes.
From Bend, Oregon
to Portland, depending on our good friends at Google. So, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Willis fouls it away there.
If I were going to do a game broadcasted outside of the booth, I was talking to Dave Carter earlier this week, and he suggested, I believe I was talking to him and Matt Davidson, he suggested, why not just do it in the dugout? I said, we'll do it in the dugout.
No, that sounds kind of fun, you know?
Yeah. You know, everybody's talking, you got the chatter.
You just think of it, I mean perfect time for interviews, you know?
Yeah.
Every inning, we could have an interview.
They said the language may be a problem. I go, you obviously have never listened to Ryan Pickens broadcast a game.
The 2-2 pitch, Willis fouls it away, and the count stays at 2-2.
The profanity unleashed in this booth, it's unreal. It's like you're in the dugout.
Oh, man.
No, we're only kidding.
Oh, 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. You're gonna kill my reputation, Jordan. No, no, no. That'd be a lot of fun to do a game from the dugout and things like that.
Willis really battling up there right now.
And Willis will foul this one away. And that one's going to be during some of the high school stuff, Jordan. I've done it from a variety of different places. I've done it from just above like first base, looking down, and that's kind of an interesting angle. I've done it from right kind of behind home plate, right behind the umpire. That's kind of a cool angle, but kind of hard at the same time. But that's during some.
You ever tried it from a blimp?
No, I haven't.
Heck
When I
of-
get the funding to rent a blimp and do
Well,
a game,
give-
I'll invite you.
Give Goodyear a call. Heck of an angle, Ryan. I'll tell you that.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The count. Willis rolls that one foul into the UVU dugout, and he's making Jackson Lockwood here go to work here in the 4th inning.
Great at bat here from Zach Willis, and really compare this at bat to the one back in the 2nd inning with 2 men on and 2 men out when he grounded the first pitch he saw to shortstop. This one he's been patient, and he's just been fouling pitch after pitch after pitch off.
Willis has been a good pickup for Utah Valley, a junior college transfer. And the pitch comes in. Willis will foul this one away. Willis started his career as a junior college transfer. Linden, Utah. This is his hometown. Played at American Fork. American Fork High School. They have a very good 5A baseball program here in the state of Utah. That one. So we'll get ready here for Zach Willis once again. Willis started his career at Salt Lake Community College, where he was a Bruin. A few of the Utah Valley Wolverines starting their careers at Slick. That one popped up. Getting there to make the play is Sapp for the 2nd out of the inning. The runners will have to hold. So after that long at bat, Jackson Lockwood wins the battle for the 2nd out of the 4th.
Yeah, you said it, Ryan. A battle. 6 consecutive pitches fouled off by Zach Willis. Wasn't it bad? And so that leaves it up to Mark Kruger.
So here comes Mark Kruger. He's 0 for 2, struck out and popped out to 2nd right here.
This is, of course, Kruger's first at bat facing Lockwood, the righty versus the lefty.
Once again, that huge shift coming on with Farley deep in the hole on the right side. And now Forgione on the right side of second base, and the pitch misses for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. And now they're going to award the runners. It looks like they're going to say Lockwood balked, and now they're going to award both runners up 90 feet, and Jeff Loomis will come out of the dugout.
I don't know if they're saying he didn't come set because he didn't make a move toward any of the bases. I think they may have said pitching out of the stretch he never came set.
So an explanation here given from Lyle Mangum to Jeff Loomis, who will head back to the dugout. And that's huge. You really take a look at it now with Kruger coming up. And with that shift on, a base hit here has a good chance of scoring not just Justin Erlinson, but also Grayson Bogdan. So we'll get ready here. No pitch on the box. So the previous pitch will be waved off, and we'll start the count once again at no balls and no strikes. Runners get their lead. That pitch misses away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes on Mark Kruger. First base is open, so if they kind of pitch around Kruger here, don't be surprised. They might want to take their chances here with that righty-on-righty matchup with Spencer Gothberg, who is getting loose in the on-deck circle. Lockwood from the stretch comes home. Kruger, once again, there's a called strike on the outside corner. Just seeing where right now Cooper Hummel is setting up on that kind of low and outside corner. It kind of makes you wonder if they're not trying to pitch around Kruger.
It's that slider that caught the corner. That was a pretty pitch there.
1 ball and 1 strike to count. Lockwood ready to go from the stretch. Comes home. Kruger chases that one in the dirt for a called strike. Swung on a miss, called strike 2, and it's 1-2.
Another slider. So with 1 ball, 2 strikes, we'll see if Lockwood tries to go away with a fastball or doesn't take a chance, as has yet to prove he can hit that breaking ball.
1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Kruger rolls that one right to second. Fielded by Farley. His throw to first is in time, and the side is retired. But the Wolverines do come back with 1 key run thanks to a Grayson Bogdan RBI single. He's got 2 of the 3 RBIs tonight for the Wolverines, and we've played 4. It's Portland 6, Utah Valley 3. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Top of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark as Grant Taylor, Kevin Farley, and Matt Kelly are going to come up 6, 7, and 8 for the Pilots here. They will continue to face Jake Mayer. Mayer gave up the 1 run in the 2-run 4th inning for the Wolverines, or for the Pilots, but other than that, did a pretty good job as Matt Kelly stands in. Jake Mayer delivers a first pitch ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. And to take the rest here of the 5th inning, my partner in the booth, Jordan Bianucci.
Thank you, Ryan. Grant Taylor from the left side, bent at the knees. He's the one who hit the big 3-run shot over the left field wall back in the 3rd inning. That one fouled off, sliced down the left field line. Out of play, it's 1-1. That inning that began so innocently for the Wolverines, 2 pop-ups, and then with 2 outs, there was a single off the bat of Whalen, a walk from Hummel, another single by Barr that brought in a run, and then Grant Taylor, who has really struggled this year from the plate, hit one deep into left center field over the Firehouse sub sign for a 3-run home run, putting Portland up 6-2. It's 6-3 now as a ball falls in there for a strike, and it's 1-2. Taylor crowding the plate. Nobody on, nobody out, top of the 5th. Swing and a foul tip at the plate. That may have got a piece of Atkinson. He's going to have to walk that one off. I'm not sure if it got him in the wrist or the foot, but Mayer will get a new baseball. Jake Mayer in his 2nd inning of work. Kyle Valgarson, the right-hander, started this ball game. Couldn't quite get through the 4th inning. Mayer, the 2nd man in the Wolverine reserves to take the mound tonight. 1-2 pitch. Ball misses away, and it's 2-2. Everybody straight away for the Wolverines, except in center, where Mark Kruger just playing a bit to the left. No wind to speak of. 6-3, Portland leading Utah Valley. Mayer signals for Atkinson to run through the signs again as stepping out. Grant Taylor. Talking about that Taylor home run, it was his 2nd of the season. Picked up his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th RBI. Fastball just misses inside, and it's 3-2. It looks like it's farther inside because it seems to almost hit Taylor, but he crowds the plate so much. That's really not that far off the inside corner. Full count. Waiting on deck is Kevin Farley. The pitch. Fastball swung on, fouled back to the rooftop. And we'll do it again.
It's got to be hard as a pitcher, especially with a guy who's going to crowd the plate quite a bit, because you have that idea in your mind, well, I don't want to go too far in because if I miss, I hit him. But yeah, at the same time, okay, if you're going to crowd the plate like that, I'm going to throw it inside and jam you. So it's definitely got to be kind of a interesting philosophy to get in. I would think you'd still want to go inside, though, and try to jam them.
A lot of pitchers, almost every pitcher, has that mindset, too. I own that inside part of the plate. 3-2 pitch coming. Taylor takes strike 3 call down the inside corner. He can't believe it. Nice pitch by Jake Mayer. It froze Taylor. He was on his way to first base. Home plate umpire Lyle Mangum says not so fast. 1 away in the 5th.
As a hitter, that's one thing you see quite a bit is once you see Grant Taylor start to turn to first, you immediately saw Lyle Mangum just kind of rung him up. It's a hard mindset to have as a hitter because you're like, okay, great, ball 4. You want to think that's a ball, but yet you have to really wait for the umpire to call it.
3rd strikeout in just 2 innings of work for Mayer. 2nd looking, 2nd consecutive strikeout as well. So 1 away in the 5th inning, a ball taken. It's 1-0 to Farley. Kevin Farley, 0 for 2 tonight. He's flied out to center field twice. Bogdan playing deep in the hole, playing behind second base, is Trevor Howell. 1-0 pitch. This one, a fastball again, misses way outside. It rolls all the way to the backstop, and it's 2-0. The Wolverines took a 2-0 lead back in the 2nd inning. However, Portland answered with a 4-run 3rd and a 2-run 4th. The Wolverines tacked on a run in the bottom half of the 4th inning, score 6-3 Pilots. This one, a high fly ball foul down the right field line, and the count is 2-1. Outfield playing deep all the way around. No wind to speak of. on a cool night in Utah Valley. Game 3 of this 4-game set. Portland took the first one on Thursday night. The Wolverines evened up the series last night. Tomorrow, noontime start for Game 4. 2-1 pitch, fastball misses away, and it's 3-1. Farley has struggled from the plate this season. He is 4 for 26. 3-1. Fastball misses above the belt, and he walked him. So there'll be a man on first base for Matt Kelly, the 8th place hitter. The switch hitter will hit from the left side against the righty Jake Mayer.
It's really something you don't want to do. I mean, it's one thing if the other team's getting hits and they're really earning their bases, you don't want to walk guys and, just give them free passes. I mean, that can really hurt you. And we saw last night some of those free passes that Utah Valley gave up came around to score later. So that's something to keep an eye on. Mayer here looking for a ground ball just to turn 2 and get out of the inning.
Farley has stolen 1 base in 1 attempt this season. He's held on over there by Spencer Gothberg. Everybody else straight away defensively. The pitch, fastball, strike 1 on the outside corner to Matt Kelly. Kelly is 1 for 2. He singled back in the 4th inning. It was an interesting single. He hit one into the hole. Grayson Bogdan came all the way over to backhand it, and just running naturally, kicked the ball into left field and had to go chase it. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball swung on, lifted high, shallow left field, going out is Bogdan, coming in is Brinkerhoff. Now Brinkerhoff calls him off, makes the grab, and there are 2 away.
And typically that's a situation where you see quite a bit where an infielder running out and an outfielder running in. Typically, as a general rule, the infielder going out needs to back off. It's much easier for him to make that play running in than it is for him to run out, and then the collision idea kind of goes out when you kind of give way. Unfortunately, we've had a couple of serious injuries throughout baseball with those kind of infield and outfielders colliding.
So now the right-handed hitter, Michael Forgione, will come to the plate. It reminds me of a story with 2 outs here. I don't know if I can get it in, Ryan. First pitch, it misses low and away. It's 1-0. The 62 Mets, remember, one of the worst teams in the history of the league. Their shortstop, center fielder, and left fielder always had a hard time with that because the center fielder, and his name escapes me right now, but he only spoke Spanish. And so they told the shortstop, just say, if it's your ball, say, yo la tengo, I have it, yo la tengo. And as a fastball misses up high, it's 2-0. So the next time a pop-up was out there in that Bermuda Triangle area, the shortstop went out and yo la tengo, and he says, well, the center fielder who spoke Spanish, he backed off, but then the left fielder bowled me over. So who knows? Who knows what's going on out there? 2 balls, no strikes, the count to Michael Forgione. He's 1 for 2. Struck out looking, back in the 2nd. Throw over to first base, back in diving is Farley. Pilots 6, Wolverines 3, 1 man on, 2 men out here in the top of the 5th. Righty on righty matchup. Forgione hitting .208 on the year. Fastball misses down and in, or rather down and away, I beg your pardon. And the count is 3-0. Mayer scraping off that slab, I should say. Now hiding the ball behind his right hip. Peering in at the sign. Atkinson giving him signs across the chest, the knee. Now he comes set. The pitch, fastball, right there on the outside corner, taking all the way was Forgione, and it's 3-1.
Good hitters count here. If you're Forgione, you're going to have an opportunity to see what you can do here. You get a 3-1 fastball, I would think, here from Jake Mayer. He's had a hard time with the breaking ball tonight, so my guess is probably going to go 3-1 fastball.
The right-hander Garrett Bowman getting loose in the pen for the Wolverines. 3-1, chopped up the middle, coming over, backhanding it as the second baseman Howell throws. He got him! All of Trevor Howell's momentum was taking him into left field. What a play! Coming across the middle. The ball even took a poor hop and almost went over his head. A great adjustment, a great play, and the inning is over. No hits, no runs. Portland leaves a man stranded. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Utah Valley trailing by 3. You're listening to UVU Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Pilot 6, Wolverines 3. As some contest of, is that an eating contest happening on the?
It's a hot dog eating contest. They give them a hot dog. You have 30 seconds to eat as much of the hot dog as you can.
Wait. I can eat one hot dog in 30 seconds. Is there more than one hot dog?
I don't know. I caught the explanation in between innings, but I think they just said you have 30 seconds to eat as much of a hot dog as you can.
Maybe it's a foot-long hot dog. I'm not proud of the fact that I can eat a hot dog in 30 seconds. I can inhale it.
I mean, you go to a baseball game, though. You kind of have to have a hot dog, right? You know, is that?
You can take your time. First, there's no time limit. There's no shot clock. Fastball misses down and away to Spencer Gothberg. It's 1-0. Back out on the mound, it's the righty, Jackson Lockwood for Portland. UVU trails 6-3 here in the bottom of the 5th. A curveball falls in there. That looked like a curveball, but according to the scouting report, Lockwood, doesn't throw one, but yeah, it looked like one to me. 1 ball, 1 strike. A pretty breaking ball nonetheless. Slider misses low and away, and it's 2-1. Yeah, well, the participants were on the top of the Wolverine dugout, and one was dressed up as a bottle of ketchup. The other a bottle of mustard. What was the third one? Was a bun? Is that right?
I guess. I don't know.
2-1 pitch. Strike right there on the outside corner. A fastball.
It kind of reminds me the Milwaukee Brewers have the different, I guess it's a sausage race with the different kinds of sausage. I thought that's originally what they were going to do on Thursday when they announced it, but
2-2's taken down low. 3-2. Well, who won? Do we know who won?
No. The inning started before they could announce the winner, so.
So the inning started. The fans are poised in their seats with anticipation. Who won the hot dog eating contest? 3-2 pitch swung on and fouled back and out of play. And we don't know.
I would say there's a good chance it's either the ketchup, the hot dog, or the
hot dog eating contest.
Right now, as we'll find out.
Ketchup. Thank you, James
Ketchup.
Warnock. Keeping us up to date. 3-2 pitch. This one lined into right field, but right at Jeffrey Lee. Bends down, makes the catch about waist high, and Spencer Gothberg is retired. A nice at bat there by Spencer Gothberg. But 1 away. Here comes Craig Brinkerhoff.
And that's really the way you work yourself out of a slump, is you just keep having good at-bats and hitting the ball hard. And we're seeing Spencer start to hit the ball harder and harder this week than maybe he has in the last couple, and that's a good sign for Spencer to get out of a slump. And especially in the WAC, you want to be playing your best baseball when conference play rolls around.
Here's Brinkerhoff, the right-handed hitter, takes a breaking ball in the outside corner, strike 1. 5-3, the Wolverines trailing the Pilots here in the 5th. Nobody on, 1 man out. Lockwood from the windup, fastball. Catches the outside corner, strike 2, and Lockwood, who came in relief last inning, has retired each of the first 3 hitters he's faced. He looks very sharp. Defense straight away. 0-2 pitch. Brinkerhoff takes it in the dirt outside. Slider that really got away. 1-2. Craig Brinkerhoff batting .292 on the year. 4 runs batted in, 1 home run. Bent at the knees, wide open stance from the right side. The 1-2, swung on, chopped up the middle, ranging over is Forgione. Throws on a hop to first base, doing the splits and scooping it up is Eric Sapp. And Brinkerhoff is retired. A nice play there by Eric Sapp at first base to stretch.
Not an easy play to make, by any means, much less when you get that feeling that you're going to fall, to much less have the concentration to hold on to the baseball. Great job by Eric Sapp there at first.
So with 2 outs and the base is empty, Paul Estrada will come to bat for the Wolverines. Lockwood peers in a nice rhythm now. Throws. Fastball misses down and away, and it's 1-0. Paul Estrada, he's 0 for 1. He walked and scored the Wolverines' first run back in the 2nd inning. Came in to score on a Grayson Bogdan double. The 1-0 pitch misses outside, and it's 2-0. Estrada has yet to see a fastball from Lockwood, who throws it in the mid-80s to high 80s. Estrada hitting .282 on the year. Strike called in there at 87. Fastball, 2-1 now to Estrada. Base is empty, 2 out. The Wolverines looking to get something going here in the 5th. Swung on, base hit, right up the middle to the left of the second base bag. Estrada will aggressively round first base, but stay put there. And the Wolverines have a man on with 2 outs for Jake Atkinson.
It's a hard hit ball. You could just hear it right off the bat. That was just one of those situations where he just went just right up the middle and he just hit the baseball hard. That's really what you want to see. Great job of just making sure he found a way to get the right hit there.
So Estrada with pretty good speed is at first base. The right-handed hitting Jake Atkinson, he's 0 for 2 tonight, comes to the plate. Estrada's 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts this year. There's a line drive right there up the middle, another base hit. Estrada, he's going to stop at second base after rounding it hard. He'll come back. So 2 balls off the bats of Wolverines into center field, and they have something cooking. The tying run will come to the plate in the form of Trevor Howell.
Well, I think that's just the thing. You're seeing Lockwood, the first couple of innings, he kept the ball down, and he got ahead in counts. Now you're starting to see Utah Valley timing that fastball. Pitches are starting to stay up, and now this is a great opportunity here with 2 outs for Utah Valley. Trevor Howell 2 for 2 in the ballgame, and some action going down in the bullpen for Portland.
Yeah, lefty. See who that is. Righty on righty matchup. Estrada at second base, Jake Atkinson at first. The pitch, Howell takes a fastball that misses in. 1 ball, no strikes. So into that stretch, Lockwood threw 1 pitch and gave up a base hit. Back into it, misses inside.
Cole Doherty, the left-hander, a senior out of Round Rock, Texas, came in last night, threw to 1 batter, and then came out of the ball.
1-0 is blooped into right field. Coming in as right fielder, it's going to drop. Estrada's rounding third. He's racing home. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. And Estrada slid home right into a bat that was left there after the single by Atkinson. He seems to be okay. An RBI single off the bat of Trevor Howell, and the Wolverines are lucky that one fell. Jeffrey Lee was playing so shallow in right field, he almost had a play. 6-4, though, the score now. Advancing to second is Atkinson, and here comes Justin Erlinson with 2 men on and 2 men out.
And you really take a look at that base hit there as Estrada came around third. I think Eric Madsen was trying to tell him at the last minute to hold up, but I think Estrada had so much momentum he had to keep going. And at that point, once he got going forward with that slide, I think he saw the bat and tried to stop short of it, knowing he was going to score, but just couldn't stop in time.
Second RBI of the night for Howe. Here's a ground ball, base hit center field. Rounding third is Atkinson. He will score standing up. It's 6-5. And the Wolverines putting together a barrage of singles. And that may do it for Lockett.
Yeah, right there. I mean, that's just those balls getting hit hard. And this is a game that Portland really wants, since I don't think they're going to stay too long with them, as Doherty will start to trot in from the bullpen. Not the greatest performance from Lockwood tonight. Great job of clutch hitting, all with 2 outs. And that's something great teams are able to do, Jordan. They're able to find ways to hit with 2 outs.
So, new pitcher coming in, 6-5. The Wolverines trail by 1 run, as they'll have men on first and second. We'll take a quick break here on WolverineGreen.com. The Wolverines threatening in the 5th. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Bottom of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The momentum beginning to shift in favor of the Wolverines, and Coach Jeff Loomis wanting to make a pitching change for the Portland Pilots, and they will go down to the left-hander out of Round Rock, Texas. It's going to be Cole Doherty, the left-hander, making his 8th appearance of the year. He's gone 7 and a third innings, allowed 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which have been earned, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. He came in the 7th inning of last night's ball game to face Mark Kruger, faced Kruger, and then was immediately pulled out. So now it's going to be kind of interesting because you make that move with the right-hander and Grayson Bogdan coming up to the plate. Doherty, opponents are hitting 240 off of him, and he's got a 1-1 record with a 4.91 ERA. And Jordan, this is going to be kind of an interesting thing to see right now, have an opportunity here.
So the right-handed hitter, Bogdan, with the tying run at second base here in the 5th. Four straight singles with 2 outs for the Wolverines. A part of this rally. Swing and a miss at a first pitch breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Doherty will come with a low 80s fastball and a nice slow curve, also mixing a changeup. Working from the stretch with runners on first and second. The 0-1. Swung on. This one hit well into left center field. Ranging over is the right fielder. Left fielder, he dives. He made the grab! Grant Taylor, a headlong dive into left center field and robs Grayson Bogdan of at least a double, probably a triple. Wow. And the Wolverines strand 2 on the base paths. What a catch from Grant Taylor in left center field. What a game. We head to the top of the 6th inning. The Wolverines trail the Pilots 6-5. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. We head to the top of the 6th inning. The Wolverines trail the Pilots 6-5 after a 2-run rally in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And what a rally it was. We were speaking in between innings. That ball Grayson Bogdan hit to left center field that Grant Taylor made a sensational diving play on. If that ball gets by Taylor, that's probably an inside the park home run, and the Wolverines go ahead by 2 runs.
Well, the hard part about that ball is it's hit to the deepest part of the park, and Whalen didn't come around to play that. I think one of those guys has to come around in case the other misses it. But
Jake Mayer throws first pitch. Grant Lee leading things off, bunts, but fielding it nicely was Estrada at third. 5-3 put out to begin the 6th inning. 1 down.
Jordan, we talked too between innings. We said that's really a risky play. A lot of outfielders probably would have just accepted that as a hit, just played it on a hop. I think that's personally what I would have done, not taking that risk. But in that case, if you're Grant Taylor, the risk pays off.
Boy, we were talking earlier. Talk about high risk, high reward. The Wolverines have 9 hits to the Pilots 7, all the while trailing by 1 run. First pitch from Mayer to the left-handed hitting Eric Sapp is in there for a strike. A breaking ball catches the outside corner. So 1 out, nobody on. The shift on, everybody to the right side of the diamond except for the third baseman, Estrada. The 0-1 pitch to the left-handed hitter. Big cut and a miss on a fastball, and it's 0-2. That fastball was left a little up in the zone on the outer portion of the plate. Sapp looked to drive it. Couldn't connect. Sapp has no home runs this year, 3 RBIs. Small sample size, but hasn't hit real well. Chopper to the right side. Gothberg has it on one hop. Now will underhand to Mayer covering. And they're quickly 2 away in the 6th inning. And, we talked about this earlier as well. One of those things, after a rally, you get a shutdown inning. That momentum really carries over. And the Wolverines have the heart of the lineup coming up in the bottom half of this inning.
And that's not a situation you want if you're Portland. And especially you had the top of your lineup coming up if you're the Portland Pilots. And that's the thing. That heart of that lineup, the 3, 4, and 5 spot, especially for Utah Valley, has done such a great job in this series and for the year that's not a part of the lineup I want to face in one inning.
Here's Caleb Whalen. He takes a fastball off the outside corner. 1 ball to count to him. Whalen doubled in 2 runs back in the 4th inning. Had a single and scored a run in the 3rd. He's 2 for 2 as he reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st. This one swung on and fouled back right to the screen just off that fastball. It's 1-1. Bogdan playing very deep in the hole at shortstop. Guarding the line at third base, even with the bag, is Paul Estrada at third. Playing behind and to the left of the second base bag is the second baseman Trevor Howell. Gothberg well off the bag at first base. Straight away and deep is every outfielder. Breaking ball just stays up above the belt, and it's 2-1.
If you're Portland, this is just the kind of count you want. You have a 2-1 fastball count. Caleb Whalen's 2 for 3 with a double and a single on the day. It's really the situation you want if you're Caleb Whalen as well.
2-1, fastball swung on, grounder, 1 hopper to Estrada at third, takes a couple crow hops, the throw pulls Gothberg off the bag down the line. However, he just tags the runner and the inning is over. Portland goes down 1-2-3. We head to the Wolverines 6th. They trail at 6-5. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Portland 6, Utah Valley 5 as we begin the bottom half of the 6th inning. Jordan Bianucci alongside Ryan Pickens. A pleasure to have you with us on this Saturday night here in Orem. The home opening series for the Wolverines in 2016. It'll be Zach Willis, Mark Kruger, and Spencer Gothberg after a 2-run 5th inning that brought the Wolverines one run of the Pilots. First pitch misses down low, 1-0 to Willis. Back out there on the mound for Portland, it's Cole Doherty. The left-hander working quickly, throws. 1-0 fastball, misses outside, 2-0. Willis tonight, 1 for 3. Singled back in the 1st inning. The designated hitter waits. 2-0 pitch. Curveball falls in there for a strike. And the count is 2 balls, 1 strike, as Mark Kruger, the big left-handed hitter, waits on deck. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Willis went chasing at a ball in the dirt, and the count's even at 2-2.
Good hard swing there from Willis. Unfortunately, the ball is just a little bit low. Would have been a good pitch to lay off, but sometimes the hitter, that pitch seems a little bit different as it comes in.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Fastball misses high and outside. Easy take for Willis, and the count is full. Nobody warm or getting loose in the pen for the Pilots. Doherty came into this ball game last inning in relief of Jackson Lockwood. Swung on, ground ball, third base, takes a hop off the lip of the infield grass. A throw over to third, or from third to first, is completed. Matt Kelly, a nice play at third base. Pulled Eric Sapp maybe a little bit off the bag, but Sapp easily tagged the runner. And there's one away for Mark Kruger.
As a good play by Sapp there at first to make sure that he had enough time to be able to turn and get the tag down on him, because right there it's an easy throw to make, and it's easy there to just get going too quick and either pull your foot and forget to slap the tag on. But a good opportunity as the first pitch to Mark Kruger's popped up and hit into left field. Taylor is going to get back under it. He's there, and he'll make the play for the second out of the inning.
So bases empty, 2 outs as Kruger goes after the first pitch and is retired. That'll bring up Spencer Gothberg. The base is empty. Wolverines trailing 6-5 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Gothberg led off the 5th inning, lined out to right field as a curveball falls in there for a strike. Craig Bringerhoff then grounded out, and then the Wolverines had 4 consecutive singles and a 2-run rally. 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. He chased and was way out in front of another breaking ball, and it's quickly 0-2. Gothberg 0 for 3 this evening. He's hitting .259 overall. 0-2, swing and a miss. Ball in the dirt, stepping out, throwing to first base is Hummel. 2-1. It will go down in the scorebook. A strikeout, and the Wolverines go down quietly in the 6th. So we head, or rather 2-3, I beg your pardon. We head to the top of the 7th inning, 6-5. The Pilots lead Utah Valley. You're listening to Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. We head to the top of the 7th inning. The Wolverines trail Portland 6-5. It'll be Cooper Hummel, Ryan Barr, and Grant Taylor to hit for the Pilots. And to tell you all about it, here is Ryan Pickens.
Thank you, Jordan. Here as we begin the 7th inning, Grant Taylor, the left fielder, stands in, swings and misses on the first pitch. A breaking ball from Jake Mayer. It's no balls and 1 strike the count on the leadoff hitter in the 7th inning. Grant Taylor supplying some power earlier for the Pilots. His first home run of the season, home run to left center field. One that just, I don't think it got out of here by much, but it got over the wall. Taylor swings and rolls that one foul over by the first base coach's box, and the count moves to no balls and 2 strikes here on Grant Taylor. Sorry, that's Cooper Hummel coming up. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that.
I was looking, it took me a second because they have a very similar stance. They look a lot alike when they're in the batter's box.
Well, the last thing I heard you say before sending it to me was Grant Taylor. So
he'll come up 3rd this inning.
So he's in the dugout right now. Cooper Hummel 0-2 pitch, and that one's going to be rolled softly to second. Coming on strong, Howell. Quick toss to first, but it goes past Gothberg. It's going to bounce off the railing of the wall to Jake Atkinson. So that will be I would imagine, going to be an error against Trevor Howell, and it will be. That will be the second Wolverine error of the night, and Cooper Hummel is aboard for the 4th time in the ball game. He's walked the other 3 times. So his on-base percentage has to be pretty high in the series. He's been on base quite a bit, but right there he'll reach.
Not an easy play by any means for Trevor Howell charging in from second base. But in that situation, I don't know if he couldn't come up with a grip on the ball, what it was, but he did. He threw it away.
And kind of one of those situations as Hummel gets back safely on the pickoff move. One of those situations, Jordan, I think you could have made an argument for that being ruled a hit.
I do too.
But at the end of the day, I think Howell would have, had he made the play cleanly, would have got him. It would have been close, but I think that with how close Howell was to the bag, too, would have been an out. And Cooper Hummel going on the pitch. Here's the throw down to second, and the ball comes out of Trevor Howell's glove. The momentum of Cooper Hummel coming into slide. Trevor Howell caught the baseball, but it was right into the momentum of Cooper Hummel, and the ball just kicked out of the glove. So that will be a stolen base for Cooper Hummel. That will be Hummel's third stolen base of the year. He's now 3 for 4 in stolen base attempts. And now the Pilots have a man in scoring position.
They would have got him. Bogdan, I'm not sure if it was helmet or sense, but Bogdan and Hummel exchanging words out there. Nothing really heated by any means, but I don't think real cordial either. I'm not sure what Bogdan, if he thinks Hummel punched that out of his glove on purpose, but we don't have a replay. Can't see it.
Fastball goes high as Ryan Barr showed bunt, pulls it back and takes the fastball high for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. And that's definitely something that happens because it was a very close play, kind of a bang there at second base, and a great job there by Bogdan to make sure he at least held on to the baseball as long as he could anyway. 1 ball and 1 strike. Barr's going to turn around and square to show bunt again. The pitch, and this time he fouls the bunt off and kind of hits the bat on the ground out of frustration as it's 1-2. And now with 1-2, I would think the bunt sign will be taken off here by the Pilots. Barr has been hit by a pitch, had an RBI single, and struck out swinging in his last at-bat in the 4th. 6-5 Portland, top of the 7th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Game 3 of a 4-game series. The finale tomorrow, a noon first pitch. Make sure you do set your clocks forward an hour tonight, or else you're going to get here, I guess, an hour early. Ground ball hit to Bogdan. There's the throw across the diamond in time for the first out of the 7th inning. Cooper Hummel will have to hold at second. Which I guess not a bad thing to show up to the ballpark an hour early, but, you'll...
I'll tell you what, it's not a bad day at all to show up early, get a cup of coffee from the concession stand, maybe sunbathe a bit. It's supposed to be pretty good weather tomorrow. March weather. Not shorts weather, I guess you could say, but it should be a pretty nice day.
Here comes Grant Taylor. Taylor will hit from the right side, or the left side of the plate. He hit the home run earlier, and the good news is it's supposed to rain on Monday and Tuesday, so it's probably a good thing the finale's on Sunday. The pitch misses for a ball, 1 ball, and no strikes, because if it was Monday, it might get rained out.
Yeah, tomorrow the forecast calling for cloudy skies, but temperatures in the low 60s and high 50s.
1 ball and no strikes to count. Hummel gets his lead at second. Bogdan kind of sneaking back behind him. The 1-0 pitch, a curveball in the outside corner, called strike, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike on Grant Taylor. Taylor wasn't exactly the candidate in this lineup that you would think to provide some pop in the bat. Only 4 for 22 coming in, or 3 for 22 coming into his at-bat in this 3rd inning. But then he hit a 3-run homer, and Taylor's going to roll that one foul. A nice one-handed grab made in the Portland Pilot dugout by somebody leaned over the rail, and the count will move to 1-2.
Jake Mayer has done a really nice job out there on the mound. He came in back in the 4th inning, gave up 1 earned run, 2 runs total. Since then, he has not given up a run. In fact, he hasn't given up a hit in the 3 innings since. A big moment in this ballgame with the Pilots leading by 1 with a man at second base.
1-2 pitch. Taylor threw the bat out there, and there's going to be a called 3rd strike, says Lyle Mangum behind home plate, and they're going to say he went through. So not a called 3rd strike, but called by our home plate umpire, and there's 2 outs here in the 7th.
4th strikeout in relief for Jake Mayer. And this is what the Wolverines needed, was somebody to eat up innings. And now a huge point, I guess you could say, in this ballgame comes up. The Wolverines trying to stay within 1 run in the late innings.
So here we go. 2 outs. Action going now in the UVU bullpen. Kevin Farley stands in Farley a pair of flyouts to Mark Kruger in center, and also walked in his last at-bat in the 5th. And the pitch comes in. That one just misses off the plate with the breaking ball. It's 1 ball and no strikes the count.
Yeah, out there in the bullpen, we have the righty Garrett Bowman and the lefty Marco Briones getting loose.
Trevor Howell right behind second base bag. Grayson Bogdan playing deep in the hole here on Farley. Farley hitting 154 on the season. That pitch going to be popped up. Gothberg going to give it a look, but it's going to go foul. Looks like into the dugout. And be 1 ball and 1 strike to count here on Kevin Farley. Portland will head back home to the Pacific Northwest after this series wraps up tomorrow and get Loyola Marymount next weekend down in Los Angeles to open up West Coast Conference play. UVU will welcome in the Minnesota Golden Gophers from Big Ten country, team that Utah Valley had already seen once this year down at the surprise tournament in Arizona, where the Golden Gophers came out on top in that one. The 1-1 pitch misses high with the fastball, just right around the letters for ball 2. It's 2 balls and a strike. Plenty of room at the ballpark for those games tomorrow still. So come on down for the noon first pitch. You don't get a ton of opportunities to see day baseball here at Brent Brown Ballpark, but tomorrow will be one of them. That pitch lined fair down the third baseline into the corner. Coming around third is Cooper Hummel. He will score. Craig Brinkerhoff up with the throw as Farley slides into second, just underneath the tag by Trevor Howell, and it's 7-5 Portland as they'll add a run here in the 7th.
Yeah, that ball hit hard right over the third base bag, and that gives you some insurance as we approach the late innings for the Pilots. They take a 2-run lead. It looks like thus far, as Atkinson went out to have a word with Jake Mayer, that they're going to stick with Jake Mayer here.
2 outs. You'd really like to see him at least get out of this inning, and then when you get ready to go to the 8th inning, you can think about Bowman or Briones and the bullpen. And now with 2 down, it's Matt Kelly. Kelly a single and a run scored, a fly out, and also a ground out.
Because you have the lefty in the pen if you're Eric Mattson.
Called strike on the outside corner.
But you are sticking with the right-hander out there.
And the hard part is the other left-handed hitter in the lineup would be Cooper Hummel, but he's a switch hitter. So if you bring the lefty in, he's going to go to the right side of the plate. He's had a little more success in the series from the left side. That pitch going to be fouled away, and it's quickly 0-2. But again, Jordan, that's 5 batters away still, so you can kind of maybe wait to see what that situation's like in the 8th.
Well, and I made a mistake. I beg your pardon. Matt Kelly up there right now, he is a switch hitter. So if you brought in the lefty, you're turning him around essentially to hit right-handed. And we don't have splits. Do you have splits on guys? I don't think we have splits. I've never seen a split on that in college. And the major leagues, you have stats for everything.
Right. I'm just going off in the series, so. Here's the pitch to Kelly, and that one's high and tight for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. So I don't know. Maybe it's just an off series, and he really is a better hitter from the right side. But
we'll never know.
Kelly, the freshman out of Westland, Oregon, at Wilsonville High School, just south of Lake Oswego.
You go, we all go to Lake Oswego. But of course, that is the world famous jingle for the from the tourism board up there in Lake Oswego, Oregon.
If it's not, you might want to maybe take a look at it. But 1 ball and 2 strikes to the count. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the side is retired. Portland does get 1 back, though, in the 7th. We head to the bottom of the 7th here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Utah Valley sends up Craig Brinkerhoff, Paul Estrada, and Jake Atkinson. It's time to stand and stretch and sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game at Brent Brown Ballpark. Portland 7, Utah Valley 5. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Bottom of the 7th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. We've stand and stretched and saying take me out to the ball game, but now we can continue with baseball. One note to kind of take in mind, that will be an unearned run to Jake Mayer since the runner Cooper Hummel comes around to score. He reached on an error, so typically if a run scores on an error or he reaches on an error, it's an unearned run as the first pitch. A fastball is away from Craig Brinkerhoff. 1 ball and no strikes the count on Craig Brinkerhoff. I don't think Craig wants me giving him 2 strikes. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. The left-hander, Cole Doherty on the mound, the 1-1 pitch. Brinkerhoff swings, hits this one out into left center field. That's going to fall in front of Whalen in center field, so Craig Brinkerhoff is on to begin the bottom of the 7th inning for Utah Valley. And that's really what you want if you're the Wolverines, get that leadoff hitter on for Paul Estrada, who has been on base twice, including a single in his last at-bat. So Estrada will come in here from the right side, as it will be Brinkerhoff, the runner, over at first. They're going to hold Brinkerhoff on as Sapp. No action in the Pilot bullpen as the tying run comes to the plate here in the 7th inning. Jake Atkinson would be the on-deck hitter for the Wolverines. Utah Valley, 5 runs on 10 hits and no errors tonight. Portland, 7 runs on 8 hits and no errors. And the first pitch is going to miss for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes the count.
Back in that 2-run 5th inning for the Wolverines, where they had 4 consecutive singles, scored 2 runs with 2 outs. It was Paul Estrada who started things off with just a little hard ground ball up the middle for a base hit. Here he is here representing the tying run.
Big opportunity here for Estrada, and he swings and pops this one up. It's going to go high into the night sky. Running out and coming in is Whalen in center. He'll make the play for the first out of the 7th inning. So with 1 out, it's going to bring up to the plate Jake Atkinson. Atkinson had a nice single back when Utah Valley used 4 singles in that 5th inning to score 2 runs. And now Atkinson will step up to the plate.
So if you're the Wolverines right now, your next 3 hitters, including Atkinson, have all singled off of Doherty. They've seen him. Of course, Atkinson singled on 1 pitch. He's only seen the 1 fastball.
Fastball misses away, 1 ball and no strikes the count. To Atkinson. Atkinson has flown out, struck out 2-3, and then singled in his last at-bat. That K2-3, the ball skipped away from the catcher, and Cooper Hummel made the throw to first. That pitch low and inside. The count moves to 2 balls and no strikes here on Jake Atkinson.
We talk about it all the time. Cole Doherty back in the stretch. Things are a little different. He's thrown 2 straight balls.
Atkinson hitting 133 after that hit he had in the 5th inning. There's a hard hit ball right back up the middle. Probably one of the harder hit balls tonight. That pitch misses low, ball 3. It's 3 balls and no strikes to Jake Atkinson.
Again, nobody stirring in the Pilot pen.
Tying run at the plate here in Jake Atkinson. Atkinson, the sophomore out of Murray, Utah, played at Cottonwood High School. Swung on and missed as he just couldn't quite catch up with it, and the count evens at 2-2. Doherty, I think, took a little bit off that as well, and he just kind of swung through it. Brinkerhoff, decent speed over at first. He's 1 for 1 on the year in stolen bases. Utah Valley has kind of employed the hit and run at times in the series. Being held on by Sapp. Doherty comes in. That one's high with the fastball. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. The count.
Well, if you can get a pitch away and poke it through that right side, that big hole over there, as you mentioned, Ryan, with Sapp holding on Brinkerhoff, you can go first to third.
The dangers is if Atkinson doesn't come up with it, it could be a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Runner goes, swung on and missed. Here's the throw down to second. Brinkerhoff is underneath the tag. They're going to call him out. Wow, to me it looked like Craig Brinkerhoff was underneath the tag, waiting to see Eric Madsen's just going to head back to the dugout, but I don't know how in that case that Forgione caught it and got the tag down, but nonetheless out, says our Pancho Flores there at second base, and we end the 7th.
And you called it right there. Strike him out, throw him out, and the end of the threat.
So we head to the 8th here at Brett Brown Ballpark. Portland 7, Utah Valley 5. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Seven to 5, Utah Valley trails the Portland Pilots as we head to the top of the 8th inning. New pitcher on for the Wolverines. Jake Mayer pitched very well in relief. He'll be relieved now by the right-hander Bowman. That is Garrett Bowman, number 37, out there warming up. Bowman on the season, he's 0-1 win-loss. This is his 6th appearance in relief. He has a 2.70 earned run average. He's pitched only 6 2/3 innings. Walked 3, struck out 9. Opponents are only hitting 167. So Bowman has been very good for the Wolverines. He will face 9-1-2 Michael Forgione, Jeffrey Lee, and Eric Sapp for the Pilots.
So here comes Michael Forgione. Forgione struck out and then also had a single in the 4th inning for the Portland Pilots. Came around to score a run, and the first pitch on its way is low in there for a called strike. It's no balls and a strike. We'll get the final line here on Jake Mayer here maybe after this 0-1 pitch. Bowman working from the stretch. Gets in here from Jake Atkinson. And kicks and comes home with the 0-1 pitch. That's in there for a called strike, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes on Michael Forgione.
So ultimately, Jake Mayer goes 4 innings, gives up 1 earned run, 2 runs total, walked 2, struck out 5. Good outing overall.
Not a bad way to go. No balls and 2 strikes the count here on Forgione. The 0-2 pitch coming in. That pitch popped up down the right field line. Giving it a look is Erlinson. Long run over towards the bullpen. Has to maneuver the mound, but it will go foul. That's a tough play to make, especially when you have to think about where that mound is. Oftentimes your first thought is to look down to make sure you're not going to trip, and oftentimes that's when the ball falls. But right there, Erlinson just kind of ran out of real estate down the right field line. So no balls and 2 strikes the count on Michael Forgione. A strikeout, a single, and a ground out on the evening. And the 0-2 pitch. Forgione able to hold up as he checked his swing, and it'd be 1-2. Michael Forgione, Jeffrey Lee, and Eric Sapp, 9-1-2 here in the 8th. Portland looking for a run or 2 of insurance. Garrett Bowman, the right-hander. A junior college transfer from Roy, Utah. Chops that one up over the head of a leaping Paul Estrada for a base hit. Forgione's on to start the 8th inning. So now it's going to bring up Jeffrey Lee. Lee on the night has a couple of ground outs, a pop out, and back in the first started the game with a double down the right field line. That double that he hit was really a hard hit ball. The only question was whether it was fair or foul, and it just barely hit on the left side of the chalk line that goes all the way down the right field line. Actually, I think it's spray paint, but typically chalk anyway.
The proverbial chalk line.
And now Garrett Bowman here trying to work out. Watch Forgione. He's 7 for 8 in stolen base attempts. Forgione not going on the first pitch. Fastball misses high. In fact, I should say he's now 8 for 9 as he had a stolen base back in the 4th inning when he was aboard. 7-5, Pilots lead it on top here in the top of the 8th inning. Gothberg, the runner, or the first baseman going to hold Forgione on at first. Forgione goes. That pitch is low. Snap throw goes to the other side of the second base bag, and Forgione cleanly steals it. He's got his 9th stolen base of the year. The throw coming to the opposite side, and Portland's really been able to run almost at will, it seems like, tonight here on Jake Atkinson. And so now a quick visit out by Zach Willis to the mound, and with nobody out, back into the box stands Jeffrey Lee. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Good hitters count for Lee. Garrett Bowman trying to work out of the jam here in the 8th. 7-5 Pilots. Lee will turn around to square to show a bunt. A bunt is going to be laid down the third base line. Estrada's going to field it cleanly. Good throw over to Howell for the first out of the inning. But advancing down to third is Michael Forgione.
The Pilots are very good at manufacturing runs, and so now, again, they don't need a hit to score one. That'll make the Wolverines bring the infield in, trailing by 2 here in the 8th.
You have Eric Sapp at the plate, who's had a struggling couple of nights, has 3 strikeouts over the course of the last couple of games. He was removed from the game earlier yesterday, but had a 2-hit night the other night. Wolverine fans making some noise here in the 8th, trying to get this second out swung on and fouled away by Sapp, and it'll be no balls and a strike on Sapp. Sapp hitting 178 is hitting 143 with runners on base and hitting an .091 with runners in scoring position. Only has 3 RBIs and is 7 for his first 39 at-bats, but don't let the numbers fool you. Utah Valley learned that lesson in Grant Taylor's 3-run homer back in the 3rd. Bowman comes home, the 0-1 pitch swung on and missed as Bowman changed eye levels and Sapp swung right through it. So no balls and 2 strikes the count. Sapp will stand back in, trailing in the count. This would be a big strikeout for Bowman. That infield, everybody, all 3 of them on the left side. Only guy on the left side of the infield is the 3rd baseman, Estrada, playing close to the bag. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. A big strikeout from Garrett Bowman. The second time Eric Sapp's gone down swinging tonight. And the first strikeout for Bowman. And with 2 outs, Caleb Whalen comes to the plate. A big strikeout. And now Whalen, who has 2 hits tonight, including a single in the 3rd and a 2-run double during that 2-run 4th inning. Now the infield, though, for Utah Valley can come back. They'll shift now to the other side with Grayson Bogdan deep in the hole and Trevor Howell to the left of the second base bag. Bowman kicks and delivers the first pitch, misses high with the fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. Portland tonight, 7 runs on 9 hits and no errors. The Pilots are 5 for 14 with runners in scoring position and 5 for 12 with there being 2 outs in the inning. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Here's the kick and the delivery from Bowman. Swung on and missed as he gets Whalen to chase on the outside corner, and the count moves to 1-1. Outfield playing pretty straight away. A little bit deep, though. In center is Mark Kruger. Brinkerhoff playing pretty deep as well in left field. Easier for those outfielders to run up on something than run back. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Bowman comes home. That ball's hit out into right center field. Kruger trying to get there. He won't. It's going to 1-hop. Whalen takes the turnaround second. Erlinson's throw in on a hop. And a RBI double for Caleb Whalen. His 3rd RBI of the night and his 2nd double and 3rd hit. And the Pilots have added the run of insurance here in the 8th on an RBI double. Scoring on the play easily was Forgione. And that's not what you wanted if you're Utah Valley. The good news is you're still in striking distance, but now you got to go after Cooper Hummel. Hummel walked 3 times and reached on an error, so he is 0 for 1 officially. The first 3 times he was up, and he's actually going to be 0 for 1 still because they're going to intentionally put him on here as the ball 1 goes away for a ball 1-0.
Well, you have the right-handed hitting Ryan Barr on deck, and that's who Eric Matson wants to face, with the righty Bowman out there on the mound.
And Hummel hitting .375, so again, I not a bad idea, especially late in the game. We thought about it maybe earlier in the game with Hummel at the plate that they might consider intentionally putting him on. They didn't at that point earlier on, but now that we're getting in those late innings, runs are important. And really, if Portland adds a run or two here, it's going to be a little more difficult to claw your way back in. 3 balls and no strikes the count. They'll finish the intentional pass right here. And Bowman comes home, misses ball 4, and Cooper Hummel walks for the 4th time tonight. He walked in the 1st, 3rd, 4th, and now in the 8th. So, Jordan, he's been at the plate 5 times, but he's 0 for 1 because he reaches on the air.
And twice he's been intentionally walked. In the 4th inning, they intentionally just threw ball 4, but it counts as an entire intentional walk. There's no partial intentional walk, as now the Wolverines will shift the defense a bit.
I'm assuming he's 0 for 1 on the air because assuming that the play's made cleanly, he would have been out. I'm assuming that's why they call him 0 for 1. And with 2 outs, Ryan Barr comes in. He was hit by a pitch, an RBI single, ground out, and a strikeout in his last at-bat in the 7th against Jake Mayer. And the pitch comes in. Barr takes that one. That one off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. In the on-deck circle, it's going to be, I believe that's Grant Taylor getting loose. Here in the 8th inning, 8-5, UVU will send up Trevor Howell, Justin Erlinson, and Grayson Bogdan, 8, 9, and 1. All those guys having really good ball games, so nice part of the lineup coming up in the 8th. That pitch swung on, popped up foul, and it will go back over our head here, and the count will move to 1-1. 8-5 in favor of the Portland Pilots here on Saturday night. Game 3 of a 4-game series. Believe this is the last 4-game series of the regular season that Utah Valley will see. Rest of the way, they'll go at 3. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Here's Bowman, checks the runner at second and delivers a breaking ball. That one swung on and fouled right back into the net. And we'll have another 1-2 coming up.
This really is a do-or-die, it seems, situation right now for UVU. 3 runs, still within reach. A very difficult task. Any more than that, and it gets bleak.
So it looks
not impossible by any means.
You have the right part of your lineup coming up. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Ryan Barr immediately grabs the bat and hits the ground. He is frustrated that he missed that one, but the side is retired. So Barr down on strikes. The Pilots, though, add 1 on an RBI double from Caleb Whalen, and we head to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Coming up, it'll be Trevor Howell. He's 3 for 3. Can he go 4 for 4? We'll find out after the break here on WolverineGreen.com. Bottom of the 8th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Utah Valley Wolverines in their black tops and white pants tonight looking to try to come from behind here in the 8th. And right now, if they have the right part of the lineup coming up, as the right-hander begins to go, the Submariner with his delivery kind of 3/4 below begins to warm in the bullpen. That one is in there, the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, that's Billy Salinger, the lefty out there, getting warm for the Pilots.
And now the 0-1 pitch coming from Howell, and that one's going to be inside, and the count evens at 1-1. Believe, Jordan, that might be number 25, Cameron Richmond, the right-hander. I could be wrong, though.
I beg your pardon. I said left-hander. That is Billy Salinger. He's just a right-hander.
That pitch is lined, and that's going to be gloved at first, right. by Sapp. He kind of jumped up in the air and maybe bobbled it at first, but then closed the glove quickly for the first out of the inning. So with one out, here comes Justin Erlinson. Erlinson has walked twice and had an RBI single, so he's been aboard all 3 times. And really, this is what Utah Valley needs here in the 8th inning. They need some base runners. Erlinson hitting .345, and that first pitch misses for a ball. It's 1 ball and no strikes. So Salinger getting loose down in the bullpen. I thought that was Richmond at first look, but it wasn't. And it swung on and missed, and Erlinson came up empty. It evens the count at 1-1. We saw last night that Portland went to the kind of sidearm underhand relief of Cameron Richmond in the 8th inning, and so just at first glance. But you had the binoculars, so I trust you. 1 ball and 1 strike. Erlinson takes a quick moment out of that. It looks like the ball might have gotten away from the bullpen, so time was called as they retrieve that here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Trailing by 3, the Wolverines really would love to get a couple back in the 8th and not leave it up to getting 3 runs in the 9th.
That pitch low, and it's 2 balls and a strike here on Erlinson. Erlinson getting the start in right field tonight for Utah Valley. The 2-1 pitch, and that one misses, ball 3. It's 3 balls and a strike here on Doherty. 3-1, the wind and the delivery comes home. Erlinson takes ball 4, and Utah Valley has Justin Erlinson on with 1 away. The 3rd time Erlinson has walked, so he's 1 for 1 officially with a single, but he's been on in all 4 of his at-bats. A good high on base percentage, .457 after that walk, and they're going to go to the bullpen here. So we're going to have a pitching change here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Grayson Bogdan in the top of the lineup will come up. We'll take a break, and we'll introduce you to the right-hander who's coming in out of the bullpen. We'll introduce you to him and get the stats here on WolverineGreen.com. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Eight to 5, Utah Valley trails Portland here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. The Wolverines threatening with a man on and Grayson Bogdan coming up. New pitcher on for the Pilots. It's a right-hander, Billy Solinger. He has a 1.29 earned run average, his 7th appearance this season. He has 5 saves, so he is, in effect, the Portland closer coming in the 8th inning tonight. He's pitched 7 innings, walked 3, struck out 7. Opponents are only hitting .87 against the right-hander. So Solinger will come with a mid to 80s fastball, mix it up with a curveball, slider, and a changeup. So good stuff from Solinger. Will face, as I mentioned, the right-handed Bogdan in the top of the Wolverine order.
And so Grayson Bogdan will step up. Bogdan with a 2 RBI night, including a double back in the 2nd and a single in the 4th. He's popped out to first and flew out to left in his last at bat. Grayson hitting .333 on the season. He's done a really nice job in that leadoff spot here as Solinger will come set with the first pitch, and that one misses low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. To kind of compare his delivery for those at home, kind of reminds me in a sense of a Houston Street for the Angels without kind of the slide step on the mound. Just kind of something to kind of give you a mindset here of what it's like. That one right off the plate with a ball. It's 2 balls and no strike.
I may have pronounced his name wrong. Solinger. Excuse me.
So Solinger ready to go on the mound. Runner gets his lead over at first. Justin Erlinson 2 for 3 in stolen bases, not going. Bogdan pops this one up. Coming into shallow right field, it's going to be, as a first baseman right there. That was Sapp, has to kind of somersault out of the way, but Farley able to get there to make the catch for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, kind of a dangerous play there. And I think the Pilots really made that much tougher than it was. That's a play that the first baseman, Eric Sapp, should be able to make. It really was just behind the bag and to the left a bit toward the infield. But nice play either way by the second baseman, Farley, coming all the way over.
So we'll see here if Utah Valley can get some two-out magic going. The first pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Utah Valley back in the 5th inning. Had the first 2 men of the inning retired and then had 4 straight singles to plate 2 runs back in that 2-run 5th inning. No balls and a strike to count here on Zach Willis, and the breaking ball comes inside and hits Willis, and he's aboard, and now you have to face Mark Kruger with a couple of men on. And if this is a time for Mark Kruger to come through with a big clutch gapper or home run, I think now is the time you want it if you're Eric Madsen and the Wolverines.
Indeed, he represents the tying run here in the 8th. Billy Solinger out there, the closer for Portland, trying to get the 5-out save.
Kruger popped out to the catcher, struck out, grounded out, and flew out to left. That one gets away from Cooper Hummel, and now both runners are going to move up into scoring position, and now that becomes even more dangerous. I think that's just going to be a straight-up wild pitch, as Hummel didn't have really a shot at getting to that.
It looked like they may have gotten crossed up because Hummel, it looked like he wanted a fastball or something inside, and that was not a fastball. That was like a changeup that was off the outside, and Hummel wasn't set up there, even just kind of threw his glove out there as if to try and knock it down.
1-0 pitch, misses away, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. So first base is open here, and we'll see if Portland kind of pitches around Mark Kruger. Hopefully, Mark will get something good to hit here. Shift is on, and the breaking ball settles back in on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. It just kind of looks like with the way they're going on that left kind of outside corner, they're saying, okay, we're either going to paint the corner or we're going to miss for a ball. Runners get their lead. The 3-1 pitch swung on, popped up. Question is, will this get out of play? Hummel will give it a look, but then he'll run out of real estate as it will go back up onto the screen, and the count moves to 2-2 on Kruger. So Kruger's gotten an opportunity to hit a couple of pitches, and still in a pretty good position here with the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kruger with 8 RBIs on the season, 20 for 68, but he's 0 for 4 tonight, and really has kind of had a really tough series. Had the bunt single last night, and then had another single as well, so 2 hits last night in the ballgame. 2-2 pitch coming in. Kruger rolls this one to second. Right, Farley is there. His throw to first is in time, and Utah Valley strands 2, but they had a couple of base runners on, couldn't get them home. We've played 8 here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Portland 8, Utah Valley 5. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. New pitcher for Utah Valley. The Wolverines will go to the left-hander, Marco Briones. Briones came in to pitch the 9th last night for Utah Valley and secure the win, but now the left-hander will come in a different situation and try to make sure the Pilots can stay off the scoreboard. Briones, the left-hander out of Los Angeles, California, will come in. Briones is going to be making his... Let me just take a look here. His 6th appearance of the year, had the 1 save last night, has thrown 8 innings, allowed 8 hits, 3 runs, all of which have been earned, has walked 1, has struck out 4. Opponents are hitting .267 off of him. He's got a 0-0 record with a 3.38 ERA. So the tough part with Briones is he pretty much allows almost a hit per inning that he pitches. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Is the main thing is giving up the runs you don't want to see. He's going to have 6, 7, and 8. So he's going to have Grant Taylor, Kevin Farley, and Matt Kelly in that group. So he's going to start with the lefty versus lefty matchup, then go to Farley, and then go to the switch hitting Matt Kelly. So something to kind of keep in mind here as we play the 9th inning, and hopefully Utah Valley can close the door and then score 4 in the 9th and send us out with a Saturday night win. But we'll find out. And to tell you all about it, my partner in the booth, the always eloquent Jordan Bianucci. Jordan?
Thank you, Ryan. What an honor to do the 9th inning here at this esteemed facility. First pitch, breaking ball, misses in. 1 ball, no strikes. I'm trying to be as eloquent as I can.
Yeah, you can just call it like you normally do, too. I'm going to be okay with that.
All right. Let's do it. 1 ball, no strike. Shift on for Taylor. Ball misses in, 2-0 to the left-handed hitter. When I say the shift is on, 3 guys to the right side of the second base bag. The only man to the left playing well off the third base bag, maybe 25, 30 feet, is Estrada. Crowding the plate is Taylor. The pitch from Briones. Swung on, jammed was Taylor. This ground ball fouled down the third base line. Just kind of shot it down there slowly. It's 2-1. Taylor, Farley, and Kelly. It'll be a right-hander and a switch hitter, so this will be the only lefty Briones will face if he can get all 3 men out. Nobody up in either bullpen. 2-1 pitch. Misses down low. Fastball. And it's 3 balls, 1 strike. Grant Taylor, as Ryan mentioned, hit a 3-run home run back in the 3rd inning over the left center field wall. Really got a hold of it. 8-5. The Wolverines trail. Top of the 9th inning. The pitch. Ball just misses inside. That was a close one, but off the plate. And the leadoff man is on for the Pilots. So the thing you really just didn't want to do if you're Marco Briones was hand the Pilots a base runner.
And this is a huge situation for Briones, trying to see. I mean, you think of if Kyle Valgartson made the start tonight, and he's been typically the person closing ball games, which means they may be looking for a new closer if you're Utah Valley. And that's a good opportunity for a guy like Briones to come in and have an opportunity, kind of have an audition with getting that final out last night, pitching late in the game tonight. But, hey, you can't let Portland score here. Another run makes it a huge game.
Farley shows bunts it right back to Briones. He may have a shot at second. He does. The throw to second. They got him. Bogdan had to stay on the bag as Briones' throw pulled him to the right side and into the runner. A nice play by Grayson Bogdan. If Briones puts that right at the bag for Bogdan, the Wolverines can probably turn 2. But Bogdan does well just to get the 1.
That's a huge out right there, because now instead of having 1 out, runner on second, you have 1 out, runner over at first base, and you just kind of really, the bunt kind of cancels each other out. Because, I mean, like we've talked about, we talked about it in the 8th inning, and I think a couple other times tonight, a run here late in the ball game dramatically changes things. Right now, you're a couple of hits in the gap away.
Here is Matt Kelly, the right-handed hitter coming in to face, or rather, standing in against the lefty Briones on the mound. Briones checks on the runner at first. That's Farley reaching on the fielder's choice. Farley has stolen 1 bag this season in 1 attempt. He's held on over there by Gothberg. The pitch. Fastball. In there at the knees. Strike 1 called. The infield and outfield pretty much straight away for the Wolverines. Playing about even with the bag at third base, pulled maybe 5 or 6 feet off of it, is Paul Estrada. Throw over to first. Back in standing is Farley. Forgione waits on deck. Another right-handed hitter. Then it's the top of the order for Portland. Utah Valley trails by 3 runs here in the top of the 9th inning. A man on, 1 man out for Portland. No balls, 1 strike the count to Matt Kelly. Kelly has 1 hit tonight. He's 1 for 4. Struck out back in the 7th. The pitch. Fastball. Ooh, just misses away. Maybe a bit high. And it's 1-1. This game is really slowed down. As with a runner on, Farley, or rather Matt Kelly, I beg your pardon, steps out after every pitch, looks down to the third base coach, takes the sign, wants to know is there a hit and run on. The runner takes off. Swing, ground ball to short. This could be 2. Bogdan, no, he'll go just to first wisely and gets his man. So 6-3 put out. The fact that Farley was going on the pitch keeps the Pilots out of the double play. So I believe the hit and run was on there. Just didn't quite work out if you're Portland. But a man is in scoring position for Michael Forgione. 2 away. The Wolverines just trying to remain within striking distance, trailing 8-5. Now coming in on the edge of the grass, guarding the line at third base is Paul Estrada. Even with the bag at first, 15 feet off of it, is Spencer Gothberg. Middle infield, up the middle. Fastball, strike 1 to the right-handed hitter. Forgione, 2 for 4 tonight. 2 runs scored. Lefty versus righty. Briones working from the stretch. Left arm dangling as he peers in for the sign. Good-sized lead at second for Kevin Farley. The 0-1, swing lifted high into right field. Going back is Erlinson. Erlinson at the edge of the track makes the grab, and the inning is over. So the Wolverines trail by 3 runs as we head to the bottom of the 9th. It'll be Spencer Gothberg, Craig Brinkerhoff, and Paul Estrada. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Utah Valley needs 3 runs to extend this ball game. 8-5, Portland leading as we begin the bottom of the 9th inning. Back out there on the mound for the Pilots, it's their closer, the right-handed Billy Solinger. Spencer Gothberg, the right-handed hitter, up there now. They need base runners, the Wolverines do. First pitch misses well outside, a breaking ball that got away. It's 1-0.
And it's a hard thing as a hitter here because you go, well, do I work the count? Because if I get an early pitch fastball, I don't want to swing at the first pitch, but you have to kind of show some discipline here.
1-0 misses down and away, and it's 2-0.
One of the interesting things you have to kind of look at here if you're Eric Madsen is, do you look to potentially, if depending on how you get in this inning, do you look at maybe bringing in a left-hander off the bench to kind of pinch hit? Is
that one goes behind the hitter and didn't hit him. How that missed Spencer Gothberg, I don't know. But Solinger is all over the place right now. It's 3-0. We were talking in between innings. The Wolverines just don't have a lot of left-handed batters off the bench. You have Stone Ramsey, but that's really about it except for a few pitchers. There's a called strike. The first time Solinger has been in the strike zone in this at-bat. But a good hitting count here, 3-1. Swing, chopper to third, coming in into his right, backhanding it is Kelly. Kelly throws across the diamond. He's safe! Stretching a valiant effort at first base. Eric Sapp could not get Gothberg in time. He did all he could. So the Wolverines, that's the recipe. The leadoff runner is on.
just with that, a right-hander quickly going to start getting loose in the Portland pen. But, yeah, you really take a look at it. You got Stone Ramsey and Jesse Emery really is the only two lefties that aren't pitchers, unless Patrick Wolf or Jackson Kofer can step up and hit. But just as that, the right-hander is going to sit down. But
yeah, I think you stick with who you have in your lineup right now. As a curveball falls in there for a strike to the right-handed hitting Craig Brinkerhoff. Brinkerhoff, 1 for 4 tonight with a single. Short lead at first. You can't get picked off here if you're Gothberg. The pitch, curveball misses down low, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Brinkerhoff hitting .300 even on the season. Has 50 at-bats, 4 runs batted in, 1 homer. 8-5, the Wolverines trail bottom of the 9th. A man on, nobody out. The pitch, that one hit him. That looked like a curveball got away or slipped out of the hand maybe of Solinger, and there are 2 men on. The tying run will come up in the form of Paul Estrada, and he's had a pretty good game tonight. Good at bats, at least. He singled back in the 5th inning, scored a run after he walked in the 2nd. He is 1 for 3. Paul Estrada has also had a nice game defensively.
And really, you're getting into this part of the lineup, Jordan, where you wouldn't really typically say, hey, this is the part of the lineup that we want coming up. But after Estrada, you have Atkinson, who's had a couple of nice at-bats tonight. Trevor Howell, who has 3 hits. Erlinson's been on every time. So now you're starting to get into that situation where you have good hitters with good at-bats.
Here's Solinger. First pitch, in there for a strike. That looked like a curveball on the outside corner.
And Portland will now get Cameron Richmond warming up, the kind of the sidearmed 3/4 slot delivery, warming up down in the bullpen.
Brinkerhoff at first, Gothberg at second. That ball corralled by the catcher, a ball in the dirt, and it's quickly 2-0 to Estrada.
The last thing you want to do if you're Portland, you're 3 outs away from having your 10th win of the season and your 2nd win in the series. It's one thing if Utah Valley gets a bunch of hits, but if you walk him and hit batsmen, that's not how you want to.
1-1 hit him. A curveball looking like it slipped out of the hand, or just right now Solinger has no control. He does not know where the baseball's going, and that righty's going to want to get up quicker in the Portland.
I'm thinking Greg Swenson's going to come out here just to maybe have a visit to.
Yeah, I think he will.
Yeah, here he comes. And
so
this is.
The bases will be loaded for the Wolverines with nobody out. The tying run at first base, the winning run at the plate. The winning run at the plate will be Jake Atkinson. And right now, the pilot's just stalling. I can't imagine that they'll let Solinger right now face Atkinson with the bases loaded.
With the way, typically I would say, yeah, they'll probably leave him in, but the way his control, it's not like he's hit a couple of batters, Jordan, but it's not like they're crowded the plate. He's hitting them almost on the he's even or on the backside, like on their back, and that's just not anywhere near the plate right now. And great visit to the mound here if you're Portland to kind of calm them down and try to buy some time.
Gothberg, who led off the inning, reached on base on an infield single, but before that, Solinger threw a ball behind him that didn't hit him, and then he hit Craig Brinkerhoff in the back, and then he hit Paul Estrada in the back. He's thrown 1 strike in his last 2 hitters. So they're going to go with him here, at least for right now, as the man continues to get warm down there.
Richmond
in the bullpen, thank you. So Jake Atkinson, bases loaded for the Wolverines, trailing by 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th. The Wolverines trying to come from behind. Atkinson from the right side. He struck out twice tonight, singled back in the 5th and scored a run. That one lined foul down the third base line. Ducking was Gothberg, leading off at third. So at first base, Estrada, who has pretty good speed. He's the tying run. Second is Brinkerhoff. Gothberg at third. No balls, 1 strike. So after that, Solinger comes in with a strike. This one, right there on the inside corner, off speed, and it's 0-2. So whatever they said to him, it calmed him down. And Atkinson in the 0-2 hole. Trevor Howell waiting on deck. The pitch. Swung on. Base hit through the left side. 1 run will come to score. They'll hold Brinkerhoff at third base. But it's 8-6 now, and the bases are loaded. The tying run at second. The winning run at first base.
And that's just, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, I wonder how Jake Atkinson's going to approach this at bat. Is he going to come ready to swing, or is he going to come, maybe try to work the count, make and make Solinger throw strikes. Solinger's going to come, night's going to come to an end here now. But, really, Jordan, one of those things where he did a little bit of both. He said, okay, throw me a strike. And Solinger, to his credit, threw strikes in that position. Jake Atkinson just comes up with a clutch hit.
Right there, if you're Solinger, and here comes the hook. New pitcher on for the Pilots, Richmond. We'll get the numbers on him. He'll inherit a bases-loaded situation with the Wolverines trailing by 2. It'll be Howell coming to the plate. But back to the Jake Atkinson base hit through that 5.5 hole on the left side, a line drive. Solinger had him 0-2. You really don't. He left you don't want to come in too nicely like you did. And he left a breaking ball up in the zone, and Atkinson took advantage of it. So Richmond, the new pitcher on. We'll keep it here right now for the Wolverines as he warms up. This inning, again, the Wolverines came in trailing 8-5. Spencer Gothberg got on with an infield hit. Then Brinkerhoff was hit by a pitch. Estrada was hit by a pitch, and now a single by Atkinson. The Wolverines have come through right now in the clutch with a lot of help from the Pilots. So now a new righty on to pitch for Portland.
The Pilots are going to go here to the right-hander, number 25, Cameron Richmond, a freshman out of Walla Walla, Washington. Richmond came in last night's ball game for the Pilots, on the year making his 6th appearance. No ERA, no record. 4 2/3 innings, only allowed 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting 125. I'll be honest, Jordan, I've been really impressed. This Portland bullpen has done really well so far this year for the Pilots, but this is a tough situation, especially to come in as a freshman. There's nobody out, and so really, theoretically, Utah Valley, a couple of sacrifice flies here, could potentially tie this ball game. You got Paul Estrada on at second base with great speed. He probably scores on a base hit.
He's the tying run.
And then you have the winning run over at good speed. And they're going to bring in Ryan Edmondson to pinch run over at first base. So Edmondson now with plus speed over there at first now.
So Atkinson is removed from the ball game. Edmondson comes in to pinch run here in the 9th. He represents the winning run. It'll be Erlinson at the plate for the Wolverines. Bases loaded, nobody out. 8-6, the Pilots just holding on here in the bottom of the 9th. Bent at the waist, the pitch. Fastball, strike 1. Richmond, the right-hander, peering in. The 0-1. That one looked pretty good, about the same place as the last one, but just maybe a bit lower, and it's 1-1. Nice take by Howell. Trevor Howell has 3 hits tonight. He's 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Tying run at second base. That's Estrada. The pitch. This one gets by the catcher. Brinkerhoff, he'll come in to score. The tying run will head to third. Advancing to second is Edmondson, and it's 8-7. And the Pilots are imploding here in the bottom of the 9th.
And that's the last thing you want. Look, once again, it's not like Utah Valley here in the 9th is getting a lot of hits right now. They only have the 2, but Portland's walking them. They're hitting them. They're throwing pitches away. Now the tough part here, if you're Richmond and if you're Hummel, a ball can't get past you here because that's the tying run.
Got to be careful. 2-1. The pitch to Erlinson, swung on. Line drive right at the second baseman. Farley has it, secures it, and that's the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up the top of the order, and Grayson Bogdan, will have
Erlinson,
I beg your pardon, Trevor Howell, the line out. So Erlinson and then Bogdan on deck. 1 out. Runners at second and third. Wolverines do not need a hit to tie this ball game. The corner infielders come in now. The pitch. Swung on. Base hit up the middle. It's going to be kept in the infield. The tying run comes in to score, though. A 3-run 9th. The Wolverines have come all the way back. That ball jammed Erlinson, but he got enough of it to put it up the middle for a base hit. Backhanding it was Forgione, keeping the winning run, Edmondson, from scoring. So now the winning run with only 1 out is 90 feet away for Utah Valley.
And the dangerous part, Portland's going to bring the infield in, which is, pretty smart here with the ball game on the line. You have to kind of wonder if maybe
Here's Bogdan. The pitch swung on, fouled back to the screen.
I have to kind of wonder if they might not think about sending Erlinson here with that infield in. If he gets a good jump, he's going to get into second. That would keep him out of the double play. But kind of risky at the same time. But you remember, you don't need the hit. A fly ball to the outfield's good enough.
From the stretch, Richmond peers in, winning run at third. Ball misses outside. The runner takes off. Defensive indifference. So now, no double play in order, as you mentioned, Ryan. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bogdan, and now they're going to walk him. So they'll walk him intentionally. That would bring up Zach Willis. A ball can't get away. Whoa! If you're the Pilots, as Richmond throws a strike down the middle when he's supposed to be intentionally walking Bogdan, reaching to his left and snagging it was the catcher, Hummel. Nice play. Here's ball 3. Zach Willis, the right-handed hitter, waiting on deck. He has a single back in the first inning. Here comes ball 4, and they intentionally walk Bogdan. So bases loaded, and now they can move the infield back with 1 out and hope for a double play ball. We're all tied up at 8 here in the bottom of the 9th inning, I beg your pardon. Part of a 3-run 9th inning for the Wolverines. They're trying to come back here and win it.
Once again, if you're Zach Willis here, this is a situation as a hitter you don't want to try to do too much. The infield's in. It's not going to take that hard of a ball to get past the infield. Fly ball deep enough to the outfield is going to score Edmondson. Just try to get a good enough fly ball as you can to the outfield.
Righty on righty. Edmondson, the winning run at third base. Infield stays in. The pitch, ground ball through the left side. Edmondson comes in to score. The Wolverines come pouring out of the dugout. They win the ball game, 9-8. A 4-run bottom of the 9th. They pummel Zach Willis behind the first base bag. And into right field, the celebration continues. Just a base hit through the 5.5 hole with the infield in for Zach Willis. Edmondson came trotting down the third base line, touched home plate to complete a 4-run bottom of the 9th inning. Utah Valley comes storming back. Wow.
You know, one of those situations we talked about, don't try to do too much, and Zach Willis didn't. He just tried to make contact. Like you said, the 5.5 hole, that's the dangers of bringing the infield in. That's why you'll see a lot of times at the major league level, they'll actually bring the outfield fielders in from playing that deep. Great win for Utah Valley tonight.
Indeed. This crowd excited. A pretty good crowd on a cool night here at Brent Brown Ballpark. For everyone that stuck around, it was worth it. The Wolverines win by a final of 9-8 in walk-off fashion. We'll take a break here on WolverineGreen.com and come back with the final totals after this. Once again, the final here, Wolverines 9, Pilots 8. We'll be back after this. Back here on WolverineGreen.com, Jordan Bianucci alongside Ryan Pickens after a exciting ball game, to say the least. Tonight, a huge comeback for the Wolverines as they take Game 3 of this 4-game set with Portland by a final of 9-8. And an incredible ninth inning all the way around. The Wolverines, of course, came into the ninth trailing by 3 runs. They only ended up making 1 out and scored 4 runs to win this Saturday night spectacle. And Ryan, just a kind of a back-and-forth game all the way. The Wolverines took the lead early in the game, gave it up, and couldn't get it back really until that 9th inning when Edmondson came in to score as a pinch runner.
You know, one of those games where really you take a look at it, you look at it from a coach's standpoint, Jordan, it might be one of those games you look back on and you say, okay, we got the victory, although it might not be one that you're excited about with the way you played at times, but you're probably one of those things where there's still a lot of stuff you have to improve on. Right now, if you're Portland coach Jeff Loomis, you're not happy at all. I mean, that was the idea of the way that you lost that game. I don't think he's going to be happy one bit, because it's not like you made Utah Valley crush the baseball in the ninth. I mean, you kind of handed it to him, to be honest with you. You walked him, you hit him with a couple of pitches, and then the wild pitches really is what cost you the end of that ball game.
Yeah.
That's a growing and learning experience for a Portland team. For Eric Madsen and the Wolverines, though, Jordan, it really changes things, because all of a sudden that's a momentum-building win. That's one where you can look back later on in the season and say, okay, we're down 1 run in the 9th inning. We've come from behind before. We can do it again.
Couldn't say it better myself. I think that does. It puts that possibility, it puts that experience into your mind. So looking at the final totals here, Marco Briones ends up getting the win, his first victory of the year. The closer, Solinger, for Portland, he gets the loss, and he falls to 0-1. He came in in the 8th inning to try and get a 5-out save. Couldn't do it. The Wolverines score 9 runs on 14 hits, 2 errors in the field, 8 runs on 10 hits, no errors for Portland. Wolverines take the 3rd game of this 4-game set. They'll go for the series victory tomorrow. But tomorrow, really, the Wolverines, they need a stellar pitching performance, try and not use so many arms as they used 3 out of the pen tonight. And really the same goes for Portland as well after a few high-scoring games in this series.
And that's the one thing with playing the 4-game series in college baseball that you get, is you get an opportunity, and we saw it, immediately Thursday. We saw Utah Valley have their starter, Jackson Kofor, win an inning and 2/3, and all of a sudden you're going, okay. And you have to have some sort of a pitching plan, an idea going into a 4-game series of what's ideal. And luckily for Utah Valley, both teams really have gotten fortunate where their bullpens have given them good innings. But the good news is it's not like you have a midweek game if you're Utah Valley, so you're going to have 4 or 5 days to rest up before Minnesota. But a good opportunity there. If you can get Danny Bettis, he's been that guy that's typically gets your start game 1 of a series. If you can get 7 innings from him tomorrow, you're going to be really in a good position. Somebody on this team really needs to establish their stuff. We saw Danny Bettis at Tuesday against BYU struggle. I think one of the big question marks right now, which starting pitcher is going to step up and say, okay, I'm going to be able to go out there and consistently give you 7 innings. You have to have that in college baseball. That Friday night guy who you have on the mound, he's going to give you a chance to win. If you don't have that, it could be potentially a really long season.
Absolutely. The time of the ball game tonight was 3 hours and 20 minutes. 536 souls came out to see this exciting win for the Wolverines. Utah Valley goes to 9-8 overall. Portland falls to 9-6. And once again, the Wolverines will try to take the series tomorrow. So again, tomorrow we'll be on the air at noon Mountain Standard Time. Or is it daylight time now, Ryan? We have the time change tonight. Either way, we're on at noon Mountain Time. That's what we're going with.
Make sure to move your clocks because we won't be on the air at 11, so it'll be 12.
Noon first pitch. We look forward to speaking to you then. Once again, from Orem, we'll say goodnight for now. Jordan Bianucci. I'm Jordan Bianucci for, what's your name, Ryan Pickens? There we go. I'll get it right one of these days, Ryan. I'm sorry. The Wolverines win this one, a wild walk-off win for the Wolverines by a final of 9-8.